Find your pasta, no clue far from the land. Tottenham stranded in shadows, no man's land. Lost on the pitch, echoes in the night. Fans screaming loud, no end in sight. Shift the blame like drifting sand. Promises empty, no steady hand. Wandering clueless in the football mist. Wishing for a twist, but nightmares persist. Shift the blame like drifting sand. Promises empty, no steady hand. Wandering clueless in the football mist. Wishing for a twist, but nightmares persist. Where's the Leo who waited in vain? Pains us deeply every season the same. No direction, stumbling blind. Tottenham's lost its mind. Speechless, impressed, they're at the ground. No solutions, nowhere to be found. Fast on the side, hearts turn to stone. Stadium echoes a lonesome drone. With much in the air, it's begun change. Up on the horizon feels so strange. Question lost in every wayward pass. And goes the future fading fast. Where's the Leo who waited in vain? Pains us deeply every season the same. No direction, stumbling blind. Tottenham's lost its mind. Where's the Leo we waited in vain? Pains us deeply every season the same. No direction, stumbling blind. Tottenham's lost its mind.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away? Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away?
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Tottenham Way, the best place to be in town post-match day. My goodness me, code red, DEFCON 1, alarm bells ringing, Jesus Christ, and all those things. Guys, listen, reality. We are in a relegation battle. Any which way you want to look at it, any which way you want to cover it up, the form guide's horrendous. We're in absolute free fall. The fans have turned. The players look shattered. The manager looks broken. The chairman, what's he going to do? I guess we're going to find out tonight, tomorrow. Something has to give. But listen, welcome. Thanks for being here. Smash like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. If you've got anything you'd like to say, put it in the comments. We'll try and go through them as we go through the show. If you've got any questions or topics you want us to cover, get your super chats in. We'll cover it. We've got a massive panel tonight. I wanted to only have 6, but I just feel everyone wants to have a say. Everyone wants to talk. There's so many things I want to discuss. The starting lineup, Reggie not playing, Leicester exposing our tactics, Mari bossing our midfield, inverted fullbacks, the substitutions, our form. I've actually made a list I'm having to read. There's so many things. The Levy out chance, the banner, the terrible state of our YouTubers, and the toxicity of what's going on across the club. Relegation is real. I want to talk about why Dorrington, Solomon, Phillips, Brian Hill, 4 players, none of them recalled, yet we're crying out for players. Apparently Richie's now injured. I'm hearing Son is injured. And breaking news, Ricky Sachs from Last One on Spurs apparently has said he's prepared to talk to protesters now. Oh, well, you know. Stelios, don't say these things. Stelios, you got to calm it down. I know what I'm doing, people. Someone has to bang the drum. If you want change, someone has to bang the drum. And that's all I've been doing for 5 years. Look, there's a lot I want to get into, guys. So let's quickly go around, quickly say your hellos. keep it brief because I do want to get into the game today and the current situation at the club. But big up Michael, big up Dan. We've got Maz, Hasper, Mari, we've got Jay. First time on the channel, big up to Jay. And we've got the Danalist in the house. Michael, look, try and keep it to 30 seconds, man. Where are we at? What's going on? Literally, I know try. It's going to end up being about 20 minutes, but
same shit, different Spurs. What was you saying, Dan? I'm just fucking used to it. I'm gonna be honest.
You got to laugh about. You're going to cry.
What else am I supposed to do, right? I just watched the game today. I just laughed it off and proceeded on with my daily life, right? It's there is no point in getting down over it, right? I just I just try to enjoy my daily life and I try for Spurs not to ruin my my humor, right? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but yeah, here we are for a therapy. And by the way, look at my title, on loan to Liverpool. Yeah, I think this is the time where we start loaning ourselves out to different clubs, right?
Mate, I'm on loan to Leicester City.
Yeah.
There's plenty of other teams that can beat us. There's plenty of teams.
On loan to Leicester City, like Skip and Wings. Although, to be fair, we sold them, right? But they just, came on today, did a job on our midfield.
Yeah. Big up 2 players, 1 of our own, 2 of our own. Winks and Skip doing the. It's a fucking disgrace, man. It's an absolute disgrace. Dan, we've been on a couple of shows already today. Any different, or you still feeling the same old, same old?
Same Spurs, different day. I mean, what else do you want me to say? Same Spurs, different day. What a crock, a pile of shit. Even when we went up 1-0, you just knew that goal was coming. Whether we could take it from somewhere was a different story. I thought we might even be able to win this one. But yeah, same Spurs, different day. Fuck them.
Big up to you. I've got a super sticker from JBW Fever. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. William Leone, how you doing? Embarrassed to support this club. Utter disgrace. I think there's a lot of Spurs fans that feel that way. Ian says, after 24 years of footballing negligence, everything is now coming to roost. Ian, we fought and we battled to prevent this from happening, but we were ignored. That's the sad reality. Mark Swift, original Tottenham away fan. Spurs YouTube just going to talk about it or do something. Mate, we will discuss that tonight. Big up, Terry. Big up, panel. We want Levy out. Time for this fan base to unite. I agree. This feels like a breaking point I've not seen before. I think you're right there. I do think you're right. Maz, 30 seconds. Unleash.
Yeah. I came on YouTube to this channel many years ago. In fact, Will got me into YouTube, and I came on this channel because it was the only channel at the time that was warning everyone about ENIC and this ownership. And we've done many shows now over the years, and we specifically warned of this. And as that gentleman said in the chat, it's all come home to roost. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into it and discussing it.
Hasper, you good? All right?
Yeah, just same old shit, to be honest. Just to summarize in 30 seconds, I thought things would get bad under this manager, but not this bad. So whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, you can take it either way. So today, I wasn't really surprised with the result. I did actually predict we'd lose 2-1, but on paper, you think we probably should win the game. So, but it's a combination of things that have just happened all together, and that's where we are, and just we're going to get relegated. If he stays, we're going to get relegated, I think, personally. But anyways, that's my 30 seconds.
Well, let's see if he's going to stay. Mari, how you doing, bro? You good?
Yeah, man, I'm doing good, man. It was my birthday weekend. Had a nice old fashioned.
Happy birthday, Mari, man! Happy birthday. Don't worry about Spurs. You have a drink. Have some nice food. Meet a nice girl. Meet a nice woman.
Had a nice cigar, you know.
There you go.
Other than that, watched the game today and knew what was going to happen, and I'm just Yeah, man. I'm doing good, and you don't even get mad anymore. It's just basically, it is what it is. And the last thing I'll just say that people told me that Big Ange has changed the club, and you know what? They're right. We're worse than ever in my lifetime. Spurs. 15, right? Big Ange changed the club, so yeah, we're right.
Let me come to JJ. First time on the channel, man. Welcome. What a debut! That the day we lose to the team that everyone said, nah, we won't lose to them. Oh yes, we did. Unfortunately, oh yes, we did.
You're on mute. You're on
You're
mute.
Jay.
You're on mute, Jay. You're on mute.
Bloody hell. There you go. See,
Classic debut on the channel. One of us.
Rookie error, man. Rookie error.
No, big up everyone. Thanks for having me on the show as always. Fun fact, I actually predicted we'd lose. I was there as always. I had a bit of an explosive rant, so all my energy's kind of gone now. I'll see you lot at Wrexham away next season, man. I'll see you at Wrexham away next season when we've got the fanciest toilet bowl in the championship. That's all I've got to say, man. That's all I've got to say.
Yeah.
Do you know what's funny? Right, I'll come to you, Dan. People laugh about relegation, and I was having this conversation with Sim because I went on We Are Tottenham TV and I went on Savage Channel as well. Actually, and I said it to a few people there. The current form we're in, fans think we're not going to get relegated simply because the teams below us are worse. And once we get players back, we're all right. We've just lost another 2 players today. We're in a situation where for every player that comes back, we lose one. So this influx of players coming back, I don't see that happening anytime soon. The board aren't going to sign anyone. The manager doesn't want to recall any loan deals. So relegation is real. It's no joke. People are dismissing it because they don't want to believe it. But I remember about 6-7 weeks ago, fans said, oh, relax, calm down. We're only 5 points off Champions League. Look how quickly that flipped. This is worrying. You know that. It genuinely is concerning.
Yeah, evening everyone on the panel. Big up everyone in the chat. Hopefully today is the end of Ange. Surely he's got to go. He must go. That defeat today, guys. Oh,
Not yet.
yeah. Well, the news hopefully will break whilst we're on stream. That'd be great. But look, yeah, time's run out. It's beyond the joke now. You can't lose at home to Leicester. You know what they say. You know, we're not in a relegation battle, right? You know, it's all the talks about it. But you've got to beat the teams around you. Look, who did we lose to last week? Everton, Leicester. It's really worrying times, and just hope that this is now on the board now. Ange is unsavable. Ange can't do anything now for the rest of the season. He's dead. The team's shot, and the board now have to make that decision ASAP. And I'm hoping we'll get some news soon.
Yeah, I think everyone's waiting for the inevitable. But let's see the one time we want Levy to be Levy, he's being the complete opposite. You can't write it. Teslim, big up. How you doing? Your boy Sri Lanka, he's out injured. He's not coming back. And now Richarlison apparently has done his groin. So we're left with Lancashire up top, who we still don't want to bring on because apparently Reguilon and Mikey Moore are better strikers than Lancashire. Surely that's why we made the subs, right? How you doing, Teslim? How you doing?
I'm fine. Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are doing well. If I'm being honest, yeah, since after the match, I've just been laughing because I cannot believe my eyes. I can't believe what's going on right now. I think it's taking my brain some time to process it because I can't just wrap my head around us being in a relegation battle. I still can't fathom it. I don't know. Maybe I can't bring my head around it. But basically, I find all this funny. I've been laughing about it because I'm trying not to make myself sad anymore. I've been ranting all season. I'm numb to it at this point. I'm just laughing. And everybody that wants to keep him is fine. Let's go to the championship. Maybe that's when we'll win something. I don't know, man. Let's just see. I'm just numb to it at this point, honestly.
You're numb to it. Ian, I'm going to bring you in. So very quickly, I want everyone to discuss it as well, but I'm going to ask you this specifically. You're old enough to remember, like me, and I think Maz, probably Dan as well. We kept getting reminded that, you Levy and Enoch haters, you toxic, poisonous characters, you don't remember what the 90s were like. Ian, is this not worse than the 90s? Look at the form guide. We are currently one win, right? One win in 10, right? That one win, guys, just so you know, is against Southampton. And what's more alarming than this, the last 12 games, if you compare all the so-called relegation area type teams, right? Crystal Palace have got 20 points out of 12. West Ham 15, United and Everton. Well, United is now 17 because they beat Fulham. Apparently, Ruben Amorim is doing a shit job. He's only been there 4 months. Everton, 14 points. Brentford, 14. Wolves, 10. At the bottom are Spurs and Southampton. Out of all the teams that are in this dogfight, we, along with Southampton, are the worst of the worst when it comes to how many points we've got out of the last 26. And our next games coming up are Brentford away, who beat Palace, by the way, today. We've got Villa. We've got City. We've got Chelsea. We've got Liverpool. Ian, this is serious, right? This is the 1990s all over again.
This is the 1970s all over again.
You're the only one that knows. You're the only one that forget me and Mass. We're out.
This is like this. This reminds you of the year we went down in 76, 77, I think it was.
Really?
76, 77? Yeah, I think it was 77. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 76, 77. Yeah.
That's right. We came up in 78. Ozzy and Ricky joined us straight after the World Cup. And 3 years later, we won the FA Cup. This team reminds me of a team that have lost all faith, all heart, all belief. They don't know what they're doing. There's no pride. And at this point, surely, and it reminded me of this, going back in time, I was just saying that on the other show, you remember that BBC programme about when the policeman went back to the 70s that was on last year? And it genuinely reminded me of going back there, watching this rubbish. It also reminded me, I mean, this is worse than the 90s. You know, in the 90s, we won the Cup in 91. We were FA Cup semi-finalists in 93 and 95 and 99. We won the League Cup in 99 as well. People talk about the 90s like it was horrendous. It wasn't great, but it wasn't horrendous. You know, we had 2 or 3 decent years, decent seasons, watching some decent football under Terry Venables at the start of the decade. But this is just dreadful. And if he doesn't get rid of him, I actually cannot see us winning another game in the foreseeable while Angie's there. Because, I mean, just take today. With team selection, why didn't he play Reggie on left back? What's he doing playing Gray at left back? Gray's played 18-something games on the spin. You know, youngsters are meant to be brought in, you know, sort of dipped in and out of the team, like Pep did with Foden. They've got to be looked after, 2 or 3 games, then take them out, bring them back in, give them a rest. What's the point of that? What's the point of playing him? Porro looks dead on his feet. Kulu kept looking for the ball, but he's so knackered that his boots look like lead.
How many times did he lose the ball?
Oh, all the
What was
time.
the point of playing him on the right? I didn't get it.
Guys, listen, Ian. Before we actually get into the specifics of the game and the team lineup, I just wanted to get your because you're at the game as well. What's the vibe then? Has the fan base turned, in your opinion?
The vibe was that there was no life. There was just real vile hatred towards Levy. At last, the fan base seemed to be waking up to what the problem's been for 24 years. Angie's been the problem for 18 months. Or 15, 16 months. Levy's been the problem for 24 years. And people have got to wake up to this. And if they get relegated, it could be catastrophic financially for Tottenham. Because with the money they owe, they cannot afford to go down. and I cannot understand why he's sitting there doing nothing. Surely he will go. I mean, again, today reminded me of the United game with Nuno, where everyone was leaving out, and he pulled the trigger that night, didn't he, or the morning after, and Nuno was gone. I think this will happen this either tonight or tomorrow. He'll be gone.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's get into it, because going into this game, right? I mean, I'm really. I'm not even going to use the word frustrated. That's a yeah.
Still, I just want to quickly say this before we jump into the game. Just regarding that 10 o'clock source, it's been India Kala News has been put all this news about 10 o'clock, and it says exclusive. Yeah, India Kala News. It just says this club has informed us that certain Spurs board member has met Mauricio Pochettino twice in the last 2 weeks.
Wait, someone's just someone's just put in the comments. Tottenham Hotspur can confirm head coach and Postecoglou has this evening left the club. The process of appointing a replacement is underway. The club is this real, guys? Listen, don't if you're going to say in the chat regarding this, please be honest.
John George is pretty reliable, right?
George, if this is fake,
he's always
I'm gonna. Yeah, listen, I just want to say, George, if this isn't real, I'm gonna 1 minute more. I'm gonna block you, because all it does, it spreads misinformation, and then we end up talking about shit that isn't even real.
Yeah, and I'm gonna shoot down another one, which was bring down another false news. This Kalia Indian news about Pochettino, that's complete rubbish. Pochettino is not going anywhere.
Yeah, mate, it's fake. It's all rubbish. Look. Murray, listen. Let's side skip this, because this is. I think if there's a club announcement, we'll know it. We'll know it.
The thing it's all saying over the internet, from what I've just looked at, is Ange blatantly stood there and admitted, "I'm getting the sack."
When?
Well, do you know what? Seeing as we're on this topic, right? Let's just do it. We can talk about the game whenever we feel like doing it, right? The club right now is in complete freefall, right? And I think a lot of fans saw this game as we'll be all right. This is the game where, come on, it's Leicester. They've lost the last 7. If we look at the league table, I'll get the league table up now. If you look at the league table, Leicester City, they're 17th. They were on 14th points. We were 10 points ahead of them. And we looked at them thinking, come on, you've lost more games than us. You barely score goals. You've just changed manager. You've got a novice in charge in Ruud van Nistelrooy. He's the manager of Leicester. We've actually got a manager who we can at least say has got experience. He's been in the game for 30 odd years managing. We're not losing this. And you look at the starting 11, guys. You look at the starting 11 and you say, right, Porro's a proper right back. Everyone's been saying Kingsky's really good. Dragusin is a £30 million centre back. Ben Davies is a 6-7 out of 10 centre back. Archie Gray has shown he can be versatile. The midfield isn't rubbish. Bentancur's a good player. Bergvall's shown that he's improving. Pape Sarr, he's got an engine on him. And in the front three, between Kulu, Richie and Son, you're telling me we can't score plenty of goals. So you look at that and you think, come on. And then 3 of Leicester's best players, Ndidi, is it Fukwana, the wide player? I forgot his name. And one other player. They were all... Yeah, look, I butchered his name. But they're 3 really important players were out. So you look at that and every Spurs fan was like, we're going to win this. Calm down. Now, I had a different view. And I said, guys, our league form is awful. Like, it's genuinely horrendous. Why are we pretending that this isn't happening? Why are we forgetting this? And what it is every kind of 3 or 4 games, we win a European game against an average team, or we win a game in the cup like against Tamworth, or we did something unthinkable like beat Liverpool at home. And that kind of, I think, clouds people's thinking and just forgetting about the actual form that we're in, which is hideous. And I said on Savage Show, I said it after we beat Hoffenheim, I said, we're playing crap. Teams aren't scoring. That's why we're getting away with it. I think we're going to draw today. People that are saying, oh, but come on, Stel, Leicester can't score goals. This is what Everton fans said to us before we played them. We can't score goals. You beat us. I'm like, but we're Spurs. Do you watch us play? Have you seen our tactics? Have you seen the way we operate? They put 3 past us. So I knew Leicester was scored today. So I went for a 1-1 draw. I thought, we'll draw 1-1. No one agreed with me. There was a few actually that predicted a 2-2. And big up to Corey Boy or Soul Boy. One of them two predicted a 2-1 loss. But they were the minority. I wasn't surprised by the result in the end. Because I look at our form and it's horrendous. I look at our players. They haven't improved. And I don't get easily fooled. You know, when we beat Villa, when we beat City in the league, it never sucked me in. When we beat Liverpool in the Carabao Cup, I knew it was just a one-off. Look, guys, forget what I think, because I've been saying this for a long time. I think a lot of fans really thought today would be different. Do you think this has really shaken fans up? Do you think this result in particular has rocked the fan base to the point of, whoa, there's actually a massive, deep-rooted problem now between manager, Lange, Levy. Between them 3, there is a colossal fuck-up, and it's not an easy fix. You're gone, Haz.
Yeah, yes and no. Yes, because some people would have turned because of this result, but you still see people on Twitter trying to find excuses for this manager still. It's crazy to think, but I have found people still trying to defend this manager and saying, well, there's no point in sacking him. Who are you going to bring in? There's no point in sacking him, X, X, and X. Or he's missing X, X, and X player. Like, the injury is still an excuse, unfortunately. But for me personally, like I said, I was one of the minority, I guess, who predicted we would lose, because Spurs always find a way to disappoint me in some way. And even when we should win a game on paper, right? Everyone says a guaranteed win or whatever. I still thought we would find a way to fuck it up. And also, when I saw the midfield we put out, I was like, they're not going to be up for the fight. You look at Saar, Bergvall, 2 young players who do not have the mentality to fight, in my opinion. And he got, obviously, the other one, Bentancur, who, let's be honest, he's not been in the same place since his ACL. I thought, yeah, let's have a chance here. And then, obviously, they got their 2 goals straight after half-time. As we know, the first half, we look all right. Second half, we collapsed. And as soon as they scored their 2 goals, I was like, we're not going to score. Because our players just gave up, but they just don't have the mentality to do it. You look on the sidelines, our manager standing there with his hands in his pockets or folded arms. Like, where's the inspiration? Where's the fight? I looked at Van Nistelrooy in the game, and he was trying to G up his players. You know, you could see there was something there, right? With Ange, I had no hope. As soon as we went 2-1 down, I was like, that's game over. But whether this changes other fans' perspectives, yes and no. Like, some will turn, because again, it's another reason for them to turn, because we lost the team hunt, lost 7 games in a row. But you'll still find people out there saying, let's give him more time. Who are we going to get? Blah, blah, blah. Like, it's not completely turned people. There's still people out there you'll find that will still back him somehow. It's unbelievable to think, but I'm sure you'll find them.
I think what a lot of it has done, Maz, is you're starting to see. I think there is more Ange out than there is Ange in. It's just the side of the all Ange in. I'd say 50% of them have now turned to, I couldn't care less. That's because they just don't want to say Ange out. But they've gone from hardcore Ange in to whatever, you got your way, the man's going to go. I hope you toxic fans are happy. I don't care anymore. In other words, he's got to go. And that seems like how they're sliming out of it, basically.
Yeah. They become apathetic. That's exactly what Dan's saying. Is basically, yeah, he's going to go. You're not going to find who's going to fix this mess, which is the big debate. Who's going to fix this mess? And what they're saying that because they don't want to talk about the tactics, right? The mentality. You got guys like Mo, who goes to football terrorists, and an outsider telling you it's the mentality and the tactics, right? Yeah, everybody knows Levy, yes. But in this case, it is Ange, right? Where people in the hearts of heart truly have to believe we are not a 15th place club, you know? Even despite the injuries, right? You put up an example, right? Ormo. Oh, well, you know, they didn't have it, the injuries at the same time. But I keep going back and I keep thinking, the only 2 people that we're missing, really, honestly, is BDV and Romero, where we didn't have consistency, right? Watch Bournemouth, 11 undefeated. We couldn't do that at all this season, right? Even when we had our starters, but in all honesty, we're missing those two. One, Romero, people would just say, oh no, Dragonson and Davies. Romero needs to fight back for his place. So are we really missing Romero? Because we got Davies, right? Right? I mean, world class Davies and Dragonson, right? Right? They're great on the ball, right? Passing. So I don't want to hear these excuses or whatsoever. Like box office was saying, I'm bored. I'm bored and tired of it. Edge needs to go, wishful thinking for a 10 o'clock announcement, but it's not going to happen. When it will happen the week of the Carabao Cup and FA Cup. If we get eliminated by those two competitions, he's fired. Plain and simple.
Yeah, but Mari, see, this is a problem because fans are just saying, "Oh, but wait for the cups, wait for the." Why must we wait? We are absolutely tumbling down. We in the league. The league is your bread and butter. The league is where you must survive. You lose the league, you lose the income. You don't attract the players. You have to sell players. The wage bill becomes untenable. The debt we've got in the stadium, everything they've built will be torn to pieces if we get relegated. Why are we waiting for the cups? The club's in big trouble if you get relegated. Massive trouble.
You know what's sad news? And I don't want to go on for the tangent. And someone said this the other day. And look at the numbers. The money that they made from the 2 NFL games, now with Moonstone's incoming in, that money is supplanting the all-important Champions League top 4, top 5 money. It's starting to supplant. You say no, but it is. Right? They just had Manchester United is looking at Tottenham and Real Madrid of just the income of the money that's coming in. Not like I'm not saying it's completely not on their objective, but in 2025 compared to 8 years ago, the money that we make outside of football is not so much of an urgency with Daniel Levy. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's completely. They're making money. 15 minutes after the game, I'm watching a video of people still buying beers, still pumping money into Levy's pockets. Levy has completely.
Getting relegated will hit them financially in a different way, right? Like, look at all the contracts that you have with the sponsor.
I didn't say that, but I'm just saying it's not as.
No, but they can't afford to get relegated, right? Nike will tell us to fuck off if we get relegated, right?
I didn't say that. But I didn't say that. I said top 4 Champions League money, right? Supplanted.
But Stelios was talking about the relegation. Then you, sorry, I
think we've guys. Hold on a minute. We've gone off point here. Mari, you said that. Freaking hell, I've lost my train of thought myself. You said that fans are waiting for the cup games before. The board are waiting for the cup games before they sack him. And my argument is, why are they waiting for that when the league table is the most important thing to any club? Why are they waiting for that? Otherwise, you end up like Wigan, where you win a cup, but then you get relegated.
Guys, we are full.
We're talking about the owner's decision here, not what we think as fans. We're thinking about the owner's decision. Are you telling me the owners are waiting for the semi-finals before deciding on Ange?
Yeah, let's be self-aware, guys, right? Let's be self-aware. We can do a Swansea this season, right? We can win a cup and get relegated, right? We won't win a cup, but I'm saying, like, is this what this club has become? I know that Swansea also has a bird in the logo, right? But we are not Swansea, like, for fuck's sake.
To answer your question, today is Sunday, January 26th. We're 15th place. If they cared about the league, they would have sacked this guy in December. They should sack this guy end of November.
Can I say something?
He's still here. He's still here.
Let me bring Teslim. Mari, let me bring Teslim. Go on, Teslim.
Okay, so Stel, I want to try to look at things from the Ange Inga's perspective. Yeah, and I'm going to answer some of the things you guys said. I'm going to take you guys back a bit to last summer or the first summer under Conte, right? So the first summer under Conte, we got players like Spence, we got players like um, Longley, Bissouma, Perisic, Richarlison, Udogi, who was loaned back to Udinese, and Fraser Forster. Of all the signings, the only starter for Conte was Perisic. And we saw the same thing for Ange last season. We got players like Gray, Solanke, Odobe, Yang, and Werner. Of all the signings, the only starter was Solanke. So there's a pattern here. Last season, we knew that our squad wasn't good enough from the perspective of after the first 10 games, the remaining 28 games, if the season started then, I think it would have been 9. Yeah. So from that perspective, you can say, okay, the first 10 games, league was still trying to figure them out. Remaining 28 games, our squad wasn't good enough. And Ange has said severally last season that he needed better attackers. He kept on banging on the attackers, which is why we're linked to players like Desiree Doué, we're linked to players like Eze. This is me playing devil's advocate, yeah? So we're linked to players like
Goes and
Eze, we're linked to
re-signs
Solanke. What do you say?
Timo Werner. So he goes and re-signs Timo Werner.
Yeah,
Wait,
but
I'm going to get to that. I'm going to get to that. Wait, I'm going to get to that.
Yeah.
I just want to address one thing. You said you're looking at it from the Ange in perspective. The Ange in has said these players were generational and this squad is brilliant. So
That's
I don't
the thing,
understand
yeah.
where you're going with.
Yeah, but a lot of them now are saying, oh, Werner is not good enough. A lot of them now are complaining about things and they're trying to turn things on Levy now. Obviously, I do not think
All right.
that a lot of
Yeah,
them,
I see
their
your point.
arguments, I do not think a lot of their arguments are valid. I think I even present better arguments than them. But I'm just trying to create a case for them, if you get what I mean, and not make it sound like quote unquote an echo chamber here, and just give a different perspective, basically. But yeah, so basically, from that perspective, you could say that we knew that our starting 11 wasn't good enough. And we knew that Ange wanted the likes of Eze, because we're linked to him also. Fabrizio was talking about him. He wanted Gallagher. He didn't get any of them. So yeah, we didn't get any of that. Then, long story short, we get into the season and the only addition we made to our starting 11 was Solanke. And we didn't get the wingers Ange wanted. The whole idea of Ange Ball, I don't believe in it. I don't believe it works. But the whole idea of Ange Ball is to outscore opponents. If this manager was shouting for or asking for a better attack all through the summer, and the only first team addition that you give him is Solanke, you don't give him wingers that can create for him. And I know Brennan Johnson was a signing, but we also saw managers like Conte sign Longley. Doesn't mean it was a signing. We saw players like Spence sign for Conte. Doesn't mean it was a signing. We saw players like Joe Rodon sign for Jose. Doesn't mean it was a signing. Somebody wanted to
the big difference, Teslim, is that those managers made it clear that they wanted better players.
Exactly.
Like,
now that's where I'm coming. That's what I'm coming to. So now Mario was talking about why they are not sacking the manager, and I think that from a business point of view, they are absolutely geniuses, because right now all the focus, as long as Ange is still there, will be on Ange. And there's one thing that sets Ange apart from all the managers that we've had before, is that firstly, this is Ange's biggest job in his life, and he's probably getting the most money he has ever earned in his life. So this man is going to do absolutely everything to stay in the job, which is why he's acting as a bulletproof vest for this board. He's still here talking about how the board is doing their best and working hard in transfer window when we're in day 26 and he hasn't gotten any signings. This is a manager that would always back the board and take away the attention from them. That's the reason why I think that Ange has kept his job so far, so as long as he has, because I think the board have realized that a lot of the managers that they bring in are not going to do what Ange does for them. But the problem is Ange isn't exactly the best manager as we're seeing now. So it's a matter of how long can they keep this guy because of what he offers off the pitch, if you get what I mean. I feel like that's the only reason why they've kept him.
Well, financially, he's going to destroy them off the pitch.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So I think eventually they will get rid of him, because I don't think he's good enough. But it's about what he offers off the pitch, basically, if you get what I'm saying.
By the way, can I just say, you know this thing about Dan? I'll come to you. You know this thing about echo chambers and balanced debate. I don't want balanced debate. I fucking love the echo chamber because we've been right. I don't want to hear people talking shit. We've been saying ENIC out, Levy out for 6 years. I've got nothing but abuse, toxicity, poisonous comments. I had my name slammed across the Spurs stratosphere, all sorts of accusations. Now they all agree with me. Why do I want to step in their balanced debate? And this thing about echo chamber, bro, like, look, this isn't direct to you, Teslim, by the way. No, it's all about this thing about echo chamber. We have argued on this channel over so many things. Iggy has defended it. Ian's defended certain players, not this. We have argued over so many things on this channel, right? At the end of the day, a lot of what we've been saying has all come true. Imagine we got sucked into these balanced debates where I've got to listen to people tell me that the moon's made of cheese and the world's flat. I don't want to hear that. I can't handle listening to stuff like that. Sorry, Dan. Teslim, that's not at you. But when sometimes I hear people say, "Oh, this isn't balanced. Oh, it's an echo chamber." Damn fucking right, man. Yeah, spot on.
Okay.
Dan, go for
No
it.
problem. No problem.
I see whoever said that where they're coming from. An echo chamber can be a bit boring, and you want to debate. You want.
Then don't watch. Don't subscribe.
Yeah, no, but they're all 9 times out of 10. There is a debate on here on Sav's channel, on my channel, whatever. But when you're talking about how shit this manager is, it's an echo chamber. Why? Because he is shit. End of. No ifs, no buts. He's crap. How is it? How are you meant to debate that? Well, he did win his first 10, do well in his first 10 games. Like, shut up. I don't want to hear about those first 10 games anymore. I want to hear about why we're in 15th place. Debate that. And if he really wants to keep his job so much, then why is he just refusing to adapt? Or he doesn't know how? That is always the question. If he wants to keep this big job so much, then pull your finger out your ass, get your act together, get your team start getting points together, your players start getting with the way you play, adapt halfway to the way they play, sort out the little problems that anyone from Jamie Carragher, Redknapp, everyone on here says, Harry Redknapp on Sports TV, even down to, what's his face, the one who was to Palace, even down to what Simon says and everything. They are all grilling him for the same shit. All the other teams are grilling him for the same stuff. Yet he won't pull his finger out his ass. He'd rather die on the sword. So does he really want this job that much? Because it don't look like he's working for it.
My take on why Ange survives this far is because he fits perfectly into Daniel Levy's business plan and business model. He's
a yes man, basically.
Well, yeah, he's the ultimate yes man, not just a yes man. He's the ultimate yes man.
He's Levy's little bitch is the way to say it.
And the reason why I believe, well, look, Daniel Levy has spent quite a bit of money in the last 5-6 years trying to make amends for the bad decision in getting rid of Poch. But what he did was he brought in 2 managers where the standards are so much higher than other managers we've had before that it scared him, because in his head he's thinking, yeah, but how am I going to build all my infrastructure projects and fund them if I'm paying players 200-300 grand a week to compete the way these guys want me to compete? And another factor is that these top managers that he was bringing in, Jose Conte, were paid tens of millions of pounds to come to Spurs. So sacking them was actually quite a big ordeal in terms of monetary expense. So they effectively thought, you know what, we need to do something similar to what we've done with Poch, right? But let's get in a manager from this, I don't know, from Timbuktu, and what we can do is fund all of our infrastructure projects and lower the wage bill, and we don't have to give him as much money to sign players in terms of salaries, because he can bring in players from other leagues or lower leagues and work with lower league type players, and this Ange Ball system will win the day because we figured out the magic formula and the others haven't, or so they thought. And in the process of doing that, they have given him money to refresh the squad because the squad came to the end of its cycle. Now, when an owner spends 350 million to refresh a squad, and they back a manager this manager more than any other manager they had in the past, they're going to be very loath to get rid of him, because a lot of those directors who probably sung his praises in the boardroom, a lot of the new appointments, Scott Munn, Lange, will be defending him in the boardroom, right? And it goes against what Daniel Levy wanted to do, in terms of his end goal is to keep the salaries down for an extended period of time to fund his various projects that he's got on. So that's why he survived. The problem they've got is that it's failed so catastrophically bad that they don't want to back him in January because they know that won't work, and they don't want to spend another 150 million to bring in players to add to his squad. So, it's for me, that's the way I look upon it. Is they've made the wrong decision, and that they've really come unstuck. What I think is going to be playing heavy on their mind is who do we bring in that will carry on this business model that they have, or this way of working, where they're going to keep the salaries low, and not have to spend the big money to add quality, and do what is needed to do to get us back up the table. I think they're going to find themselves, in a very difficult position.
Well, something has off the back of that, Maz. What do you think is going to happen then, right now, given what's happened today and the league position and the games coming up, and the fact it looks like we've lost another two players?
I would be very surprised if another manager comes in external to the club, unless it's someone like a Harry Redknapp who's managed us before, or a Tim Sherwood, for lack of a better example, or for argument's sake, sorry, the other person's name's gone out of my head, but let's say Harry Redknapp, Tim Sherwood type figure. The reason is that these top managers, let's say Allegri, who's been coached, do they really want to go into a relegation scrap and try and drag us out of this, not knowing what's going to happen at the end? So likely they'll want to come on a short-term deal, but is that really the type of job that they want to come into? Some of the names that I've seen on this. So I think what's likely to happen is Mason will come in, and maybe they'll try and bring someone experienced to help him in there. That to me seems like the most likely scenario. But it's not easy. I mean, there's a gentleman there saying, "Oh, Maz, I'm rambling." Yeah, might be rambling a little bit because it's quite a detrimental situation, right? We're up shit's creek. And we need to do something quick and make the right decision.
Fans in denial. I think there's still fans in denial, man. I still think some don't get it. I've just got a couple of super chats I quickly want to go through because they're building up, and I'm going to end up not doing them. Ian, any updates on the 10 p.m. rumor that you circulated around the fan base and got everyone rattled?
Well, no. I texted the guy who sent that to me, and he said, "Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Must be bullshit." So there you go.
You got my hopes up, man.
I got so excited.
ITK level 93. London Nomad says there's a loser mentality at Spurs. You were happy to lose a game to stop Arsenal and lose top four. Then you're running around and demanding a winning mentality. You can't have it both ways. Well, that's rubbish because they're two separate scenarios. Knowing that we're not going to win anything and therefore the only thing we've got left is to stop Arsenal winning the league, is completely separate to being in a position where we could win something, but we've got a manager sabotaging it. So you're conflating two different scenarios there. But good try. A user. Firstly, I disagree with some who are saying they'd rather have Van Nistelrooy, Southgate than Ange. Sorry, that's going from the frying pan into the fire. He also says Ange and Levy equals Jekyll and Hyde. Yeah, I agree. So happy for the cult. Hope you learn your lesson. Worrying thing now is that too much damage may have been done to recover. I wonder what videos the psychedelic hipster is going to put out about me and Sava this week.
That's what I was thinking.
Does he have any more stories that he can possibly cling on to? I doubt it. A user, fucking Wurzel Gummidge. I stopped caring ages ago to stop grey hair growing. Yeah, I know what you mean. Look, me and Ian have lost our hair. We lost ours, caring. London Nomad. I also don't understand Levi doesn't spend big, but with Champions League, you can get better players. Jimenez would cost less than Solanke and similar wages. London Nomad. In all the years that we've been in the Champions League and we've qualified, please name me 2 or 3 players that we've attracted of high caliber. When you come back with an empty list, redraft your question. We never sign anyone quality all the years we got into the Champions League.
I think it was a follow-up to his previous super chat, right? Because he said that we wanted to give up UCL to stop them from winning the league, and then he said that with UCL we could attract better players, right? But that's unfortunately not how this club works, right? Every other club works in this way, not this one.
We qualified. We got to a Champions League final and we signed Lo Celso, Sessegnon, and Ndombele. So
and
there you go.
Clark. And Jack Clark.
And Jack Clark.
Paul Lopez. So I'm just reading off the podcast.
Do you know what? I think this guy's a gooner. I would focus more on the fact that you spent 800 million under Arteta and won fuck all, and you're going to win fuck all again. I think that's more where your energy should be. But who am I? A user says we are like a computer. We need a major reboot. Relegate. Oh God, no, we can't get relegated. Soulboy. Panel, Maz is the only person who has been consistently honest with his views. Credit to you, Maz, speaking a lot of sense. Everyone else, go to hell. I'm joking. Big up, Soulboy. Phil Coy says, Lubo out, Coach Maz in. Look, everyone's loving Maz tonight. Everyone's loving Maz. Ian, Lubo, I think you're in the mud because you put out that ITK breaking news.
I did read out the text. There was a caveat to say, not sure if it's true. Obviously not. But
that's such a Levy move. I'll backhand, but only if we win all our games in January.
No, as I said, don't shoot the messenger. I do feel that whether it's tonight, tomorrow morning, end of the transfer window, Villa or Liverpool, I do think
that's like 2 weeks though, isn't it?
I do think by February the 10th, Ange's a dead man walking. There is absolutely no way. Having seen today's debacle, I mean, it was terrible today. It was just shocking. It was like it was like a beaten team that have finished, and there was just no spirit, no guts, no passion, no desire, no determination. There was nothing. And
by the way, did you guys see that he was squaring up to the fans again?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, just dreadful. Just dreadful. Of course. The only positive was the Levy Outs chant.
We'll get on to it. London Nomad super chats. Actually, he's a Villa fan, but his dad's a Spurs fan. You should have listened to your... Actually, no. You've done well not to listen to your dad. Well done. Smart move. The Spurs are winning nothing. Not with this ownership. I want to talk about the starting lineup, right? Because this is symptomatic of why Spurs fans are fed up with Ange. By the way, this is why fans are sick to death of him. You look at this starting lineup, and the key things that come to mind are you've got Reggie, who's a left back. He can't play on Thursday night. We've got another game on Thursday in Europe because he's not been put in the Europa Cup squad. So this is where people get pissed off with Ange. Why didn't you put him in the Europa Cup squad? Then he doesn't play him today. So Archie Gray's got to play another game, another position. So he goes left back. And what he could have done is say, right, I'm going to play Reggie at left back. Archie Gray, you're actually a number 6. Go and play in the 6 role. And then now he can rest Bentancur. He can rest Bergvall or Sarr. Right? He can now rest a player. Instead, no, you're all going to play, then I'm going to moan that you're on your knees and you're tired and we've got injuries. When you saw the starting lineup, did you not feel like, why don't you start Reggie? And then during the game, guys, he takes off Richarlison, and the only striker on the bench, Lancashire, he doesn't bring him on. And he takes off, was it Son or Kulu? And he brings on Mikey Moore. But I had no... Was it Kulu?
No.
No, Kulu said the whole
It
game.
was Sar
Oh, sorry, Sarr came off. Beg your pardon. Yeah, Sarr came off.
And Son went striker.
Came off, I think.
Yeah, Son went striker, more left wing, and someone else came into the midfield. I don't remember. Oh, he brought on Reguilon. He brought on Reguilon at that point, and Gray went to the midfield, right?
Yeah,
that was the 50-something minutes.
The key thing for me though was he took off Richarlison, the striker, and he didn't replace him for a like striker. And then in the 94th minute, with about 2 minutes to go, Lancashire, come on, go on. You can score the equaliser with about 55 seconds. Is that not why a lot of fans that don't back this manager don't back him? It's things like this. It's the team selection. It's the tactics. You've caused a lot of the injuries. You've got chances to rotate and you don't. And tactically, I've got to say this as well, guys. Archie Gray and Porro, the amount of times in that first half they were high up, and Leicester, how many times did they attack us down the flank, but they just couldn't score because their wingers, their finishers weren't that good. But then we paid the price. We paid the price for that in the second half in about 10 minutes. I mean,
Didn't
isn't this why we're
really
angry?
in the first half, he had a half chance when they played the ball across the box, and IU missed a half chance.
He should have taken a touch.
By the way, can I quickly give you guys something like strange that I didn't expect? I saw a stat today, right? That because we all like harp on the Dragusin, right, and the mistakes that he makes and whatever, right? Did you know that he's played something like 20 games straight, right? 3 days, like, every 3 days he's playing a game for 20 games already, right? And he apparently has like the fourth most amount of minutes played out of our whole squad. Right.
Oh, wow.
So at this point, like I am not like he is on the last legs, right? Like
Michael,
it's ridiculous how exploited the squad is, right?
Can I say one thing on that, right? Because I heard someone else say that earlier. Why did Ange allow Dorrington to go out on loan?
Oh yeah.
And why has he not? And why has he not recalled Phillips? There are options within the club. We have choices. We're just not making.
Especially because
Solomon's carrying it up at Leeds United. Bring him back. Like, what are we doing?
It's ridiculous, the decisions that this board and this manager is taking, right? It's like, especially because some of those guys that you mentioned are under 21s, right? We don't have to register them, right? You don't have to, you have no squad registration issues, right? Because with some other players like Solomon, right, you have to make space for him in the squads, right? So you cannot register him for Europa League games, for example, right?
Well, that's Werner, isn't it? Werner out, Solomon in, straight swap.
No, but you can't re-register the squad until the window finishes, right? This is the issue. So you would still, even if we fuck off Werner, right, you would still have to wait until the end of January to register Solomon, right? Okay. But those other guys like Donnelly, like Phillips, like Dorrington, right? Those are under 21s. You just throw them into the youth squad and you can use them whenever you want, right? This is like the squad planning and the squad like management. Not only like, and it's not only from him, right? Because he has other people that tell him what to do from time to time, right? It's not his own decision, right? There is a whole heap of people, right? The whole squad of people making decisions on this, right? And how none of them thought it would be a good idea to register Region and Spence for the Europa League squad. How none of them thought that maybe, like, honestly, as mad as it will sound, right? Maybe it is better for the like good of the club. Maybe it's better to sacrifice half a year of a youth player's development, even if they have to sit on the bench for 6 months, right? Just so if you need them, you can use them, right? Because right now we didn't fill the full bench today, right? I don't know if like the match-going fans knew this, right? We didn't have a full bench today. Yeah. We had 8 players on the bench. You have 9 spots, right? It's ridiculous how the squad is being managed.
Michael, I don't know if I'm the only one that seems to remember, but last season, Region did an interview And these are the quotes here. He said, during preseason, I was very happy, and he, Postecoglou, was happy with me. Also, the staff. I was playing like a normal player all the games. The week before, I went to see him. You want me at the club? Yes, I have a list. I have to do a list, and you are in my squad. It was strange. The next day, I was out of the training. I didn't know what happened.
Yeah, I remember that comment.
That doesn't,
I remember it.
and I don't want to share to sit in the stadium
we actually
watching.
said was
Exactly. But he said it wasn't for performance. That was for another reason. He said it was for another reason. So I think they had a problem. I think they had a problem. I don't know why everybody seems to have forgotten this.
If you're 21 or under, do you even need to register the player? Because as far as I know, in all cups, in all leagues, and European, that if you're 21 or under, you don't even have to be registered, and you can just chuck them in the team as you please.
I just made that point, Dan. In the whole monologue,
that's what I just don't get.
I have said for a while now that the way that Ange has configured this squad, the way in which we've gone about refreshing the squad and getting rid of players is maybe some of the worst I have ever seen at Spurs. And it just goes to the point that still Antonio Conte, me, everyone I'm sure on this panel has said in the past, right? Once again, they've just gone for quantity over quality, rather than deciding, okay, look, we're going to make a 6-player swing or 3-player swing in the sense that you get rid of 3 players, you bring 3 quality players in, not stretch yourself, control the amount of money you're spending, not disrupt the squad too much, but do that every single transfer window or at least every summer. Then that would have made much bigger dramatic difference to the squad we have now than what we've done, right? In our haste to get rid of people like Sanchez, Dyer, Højbjerg, Skip, Lo Celso, and Dembele and stuff, we've thrown away some players that would have actually really helped the squad, right? And the current situation. And that's on Ange from my point of view. I don't even think that's necessarily a Levy thing, right? But that is on Ange. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm glad to see the back of Eric Dyer. I'm glad to see the back of Sessegnon. I'm glad to see the back of Emerson Royale. But don't do it to the detriment of the goddamn season, for crying out loud. Don't just get rid of them for the sake of getting rid of them. And let the season go down the toilet because you haven't got adequate backup. Because the thing is, they've got rid of those players. They've said that we're in this, or the fans have said that we're in this magical youth project, yet they sent all the youth players out on bloody loan.
In this aspect, this is where I come back to an old argument. Don't want to start a massive one, but this is where it comes in again. Why the hell did we buy Archie Gray? Why? When we could have kept Phillips in defence and we could have got a ready, up for battle now, trained Premiership or in bigger league, centre mid or central defensive midfielder. Because this is where we're going to, if you let me finish, because this is where we need them now. Not some little boy that's played a couple of games in the odd position here and there. A player that's been playing for 5-6 years straight in the Premiership, Serie A, La Liga, Bundesliga, whatever, and is used to big games. This is now where more than ever it shows that we needed that 40 million player, 45 million player that is ready now, not ready in 2 years' time. Yes, ideally we should be being both, but this is Tottenham. We know we don't. I should be able to leave my front door open and my car keys open. I can't because I get them chawed. And this just comes back to the point again of where Archie Gray wasn't even needed in some of those positions. We could have had Spence. We could have had Reguilon. Okay, they haven't been great, but at least they were set for those positions. Then poor Archie Gray doesn't have to play on the right, in the centre, on the left, because we've got that covered. And then we also need that midfielder who can fight. And we haven't got it. This is where it goes back again of where I feel we wasted our money on him when we could have had a player that was ready now. You get rid of someone like Højbjerg who can fight. He's not a great player, but he can fight. He can get stuck in. He can get loud on the pitch. Archie Gray ain't going to do that. I mean, he hasn't even played in midfield yet.
Look, let me come in here. I totally agree with Dan and Maz. Totally. Højbjerg's a prime example, right? We needed someone else to come in who's better to him or similar player, and we didn't do it. That transfer window, everything always goes back to it, doesn't it? It was just so bad. I mean, I know what I was flagging it up. I'm sure many people did. But really, guys, we're just so unprepared for this season for all the games. But does it really matter? Because Ange he's the worst manager we've had for God knows how many years. And I don't understand why he's still in the job. I don't get it. The board are not backing him with transfers. Are they just trying to work on getting a manager in? And then when that manager comes in, they'll give him the last week of the window. I'm just baffled by it all. Just something doesn't make sense, guys, does it? What's been going on right now? Nothing makes sense. I just hope that we get that news in the morning that he's sacked. He has to go. He has to go. We can't keep him anymore. What are we waiting for?
Dan, the issue is this, right? There was a lot of hope and optimism at the end of last season because we were playing a better style of football, some would argue. We're back in Europe. Okay. But then it was all eyes on the transfer window. Show us that things have changed. Show us that this stadium, this FFP power, this PSR power, that this ownership with the data-driven model and Lange and Mann, and this was the master plan. And now we're going to shut you fans up. And the Stelioses and the Bryans that have been protesting for 5 years, motherfuckers, you're never going to speak again. This was the summer to do it. Everything was geared up to it. As soon as we signed Werner, I fucking told everyone, guys, nothing has changed. They're about to trash the window. And it was abuse. It was hate. It was these Mickey Mouse YouTubers, these TikTokers, these 20, 24-year-olds. Spurs have got a great squad. Spurs are going to finish fourth. In fact, I can see us squeezing into third. Look at this amazing squad. And I sat there thinking, oh my God, you haven't even had, have you even gone through puberty yet? And you're making these big, bold announcements. And literally, you haven't lived, and you're going to tell me after 3 decades of this shit, what's coming next? And what scared me was the bigger channels jumped on it. They all got hyped up. They're all like, yeah, brilliant football. Ange is the man. This squad's brilliant. And we sat there saying, guys, the first team collapsed at the end of the season. We need some top quality players. We need to behave differently to any other previous season. Enoch and Levy, you better fucking do something big this time. And Ange just sat there. The manager sat there going, yep. I know exactly what happened before I came here. I know what happened with the other managers. Yep. I always win trophies in my second season. I'm going to challenge for the league. Yep. I'm happy with this squad. We've done really good business. He sat there clapping, applauding them. And I thought, oh my God, this is the biggest con I've ever seen at Spurs. And I put it all over social media. Lange and Levy, the great con. Abuse, hate, how dare you say these things? The day we signed Werner, that's the day this club said, we're about to pull your pants down. They waved the flag. They waved the white flag in front of everyone. And that was the moment, guys. You knew nothing had changed. And it took 5-6 months to get to where we are now. And look at it now. Complete capitulation. The manager's been exposed. The squad's been exposed. Yeah, we've had injuries. But you're not telling me these injuries are the reason we are in a relegation battle. When we know other teams have had injuries and other teams have had to struggle this season. Fuck me. Man United, this is the worst Man United team I've seen. They're in the cups. They're in Europe. They're in the league title. They're in the same Premier League as us. How are they doing it? How are United managing to get through it? They changed the manager. He's trying different things. He's working away. They've gone above us in the league. They've gone above us in the Europa. They beat Fulham today, so now they're pulling away. Look, man, at the end of the day, this was so obvious back in the summer. So you guys, when you say that summer window was the problem, yeah, but the issue is 95% of fans, they fucking loved it. And those that dared say, guys, I think there's a problem here, and you're not talking about it. We got called poison, toxic, bastards, tossers, gooners, Chelsea fans. We got told to piss off.
And
There's
today,
your problem.
all those like the Flavs and the Ben Bowmans.
Oh, don't get me started.
Grim day. End of days feel about it. Probably is for Ange. Definitely should be for Levy. But it's all right because the dispensary was packed after the game as we won, and the queue for the club shot was longer than ever. Football club is absolutely messed from top to bottom. Where was this?
Who tweeted that? Maury, who tweeted that?
Ben Bowman.
Oh, I don't follow him.
And that quotes for Flav. And I remember the outrage.
They called us poison and toxic in the summer. It was poison and toxic for saying Ange out, Levy out.
No. But I remember Flav a couple months ago says Ange and the board has us in a good spot. And I remember Rory, and we all hate, you can't stand Rory, but Rory was right to say, what evidence do you have that Tottenham is it was one of those forum shows?
Murray, he went on Sky Sports on the overlap and told the world that Ange and Levy have taken the club forward and that we're going places.
Yeah, it was the overlap. So the Ben Bowmans, the Flavs, all these imposters. Now today, all of them was like, it's the end of the club, top to bottom. They all leave me out. Oh yes, the apathetic end should go too. And now they have a problem with the club. All of a sudden now they have a problem.
5 years. 5 years of abuse. 5 years of abuse. 5 years.
Ange has changed the club. Apparently, he has changed the club. And like I said, he did. He's made us worse than I've ever seen.
Didn't he say in this press conference the other day, he said we were better than when he joined? I'm like, are you
Yes. Listen,
yeah.
Are you smoking something?
He said that 2 days ago.
Listen, fair play to Dan, Maz, and Ian as well, right? Because sorry to the others if I don't mention your name. It's just these are things I remember that just come into my head now. Dan said this guy is a puppet, right? He was saying he's a puppet for ages. Maz was the first to say, I'm done. Maz was the first to call it. And Ian, in the summer, was getting into arguments on this channel and other channels saying to fans, stop having to go at Archie Gray, stop having to go at Bergvall. The problem's Enoch and Levy because they should sign experience and the youth at the same time. They've got the money. Why aren't they doing both? I don't want one or the other. We should have both. That's what we should demand. So they were saying it. These, and I'm sure you guys said your bits as well, but I remember these three in specific, the comments. And Mari was digging out Tavistock and Enoch. 2 years ago, he was doing reports on this channel saying, guys, look at what they're going to do to us. I don't know, man. I just find it astonishing now.
Mari was saying it in bloody the first year that Jose came in 2020, COVID times.
Yeah.
It was
I was saying
the stuff that was happening in Miami and stuff.
Yeah.
Hasper was at the original OG protest with me. The first one that we went to.
You gave me a lift home. Do you remember that?
We're going back 6 years.
The
I didn't know Michael, Teslim, and Dan back then. I didn't know you guys back then.
It's all well and good us patting, and I'm sorry for this cause offence. It's all well and good us patting ourselves on the back for this stuff and saying, look how right we were, right?
No, Maz, my point is they called us every name under the sun.
I know.
And now they're like, on your side, but we're not going to tell you that. We're not going to tell you that.
You can address that, all right? None of us take joy in being right with all this stuff, right? Because it's antithetical, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I agree.
To Spurs winning and being good. The reason why we're saying this stuff is because it just so happens that we're fortunate enough to have seen it in advance, right, and warned against it. So I just want to put that out there.
Can I just give some figures still? Just on the summer window. Dan, thank God we've had Archie Gray, because look how he's played for us in all different positions this season. I don't know one other player that could have done what he's done, and he's 18 years old.
I'll name them for you
One
now.
other
We could
player
have played
that played
Spence. We could have played Spence. We could have played Reguilon, and we could have played what's his name in the middle. Job done. And then we could have had a full midfield out there who could do something.
Reguilon's a left back, play him in his position. Gray's a central midfield player.
Then why is Archie Gray playing as left back?
He's had to play in every other position.
Guys,
the problem wasn't. Let me tell you why the problem wasn't.
Let Ian speak. Let Ian speak.
Let me tell you why the problem wasn't spending 40 million on Archie Gray. We spent, with the 5 players we bought, the 4 kids, including the Korean plus Solanke, we spent, and forget add-ons, we spent 134 million. We're getting 70 million back when the Højbjerg money comes back. That's a 64 million net spend. We save between 30 and 40 million on the wages. So you're looking at around a 25 million pound net spend for our club. 25 million. If Gray hadn't have been bought, would have made a 15 million pound profit. And you wouldn't have had his versatility. The whole thing is a joke. 25, 30 million net spend for a club that have turned over 520 million, according to Deloitte. The wages to revenue percentage is the lowest in the entire Premier League. That's up to June 23, and it was 42%. It's probably about 35% now with the wages that they've saved in the summer. This is a joke, and this is why, after 24 years of pure neglect by ENIC, and they've been bailed out by Redknapp, Joel, Pochettino, and Kane carrying us for a few years, their luck has run out. And this is why we're in the shit. Because Levy knows nothing about football. And instead of putting somebody in charge who is a football expert, he brings in Scott Munn, who knows nothing. Munn brings Lange in. And look at the results for the where all the other signings. Munn has brought Ange in. And it has been a disaster. The first team playing results have been a disaster since Chelsea last November. This hasn't started this season. This happened last season.
Right.
So all the people that were turning around saying, "Oh, we're gonna," what is Ange turning around saying? We are going to win this in the second season. We're going to challenge for the league. What a joke! I thought we'd be 5th to 8th. I think I got it wrong. I got it wrong very badly. That was my heart. Why? Because the last 28 games of last season, we got 40 points and we would have finished 12th. So with only Solanke coming in, why am I thinking 5th to 8th when it's 12th? And we got the same manager with the same shit style, the same training, the same pressing that's going to kill these players. The players are now all dead. They're dead on their feet at the moment.
Right.
We have a senior professional. And the other thing is, who would have thought that professionals like Basuma, Bentancur, Saul would be so bad this season? Werner, they're all dreadful. These players just haven't come to the party this year.
Right.
At all.
Then there is a big problem. The midfield. We did not need Archie Gray.
We fucking do, Dan. He should be in there now. We don't want him to
finish then. All right, Ian, no need to get your knickers in the twist, mate. We had Spence, who can cover a right back. We had Reguilon, who is a left back. We had Phillips, who is a centre back. Dorrington, fine, injured. Right. 3 positions covered with players that play in those positions. And then we could have got a 40 million midfielder, 45 million midfielder who can get in that midfield. Can Archie Gray get in that midfield? Can he fuck? Why has he not played in it? If we would have got
a shit manager, Dan. We got a shit manager.
It's because he can't get in there over the international players.
Who are doing
Guys,
we had players for those positions covered.
Can I say, right? Both of you are right, but neither of you are right regarding the problem today, which was the fullbacks were inverting into midfield, allowing Leicester to rip us a new one down the wings. Like that whole first half, they kept attacking down the wings. We could have had better players in the team, but these tactics literally fed right into Leicester's hands. Guys, we got outdone by Ruud. Van Nistelrooy tactically outdid us.
I also want to...
What are we doing here?
Stella, I
Yeah, go
want
on,
to
Michael.
say one thing on Archie Gray, right? Because like we can discuss whether 40 million was forfeit or not, right? The fact is, and one thing I will back Ian on, right? Not one thing, actually many things, right? You said one key thing, Ian, right? We had a net spend of 20 million pounds this summer transfer window, right? Fucking Ipswich Town had 120 million net spend, minus, right? Minus 120 million net spend, right? If they can spend money, why can't we, right? The issue is not buying Archie Gray for 40 million. The issue is not buying another player for another 40 million, right? Because just as I made the point with Dorrington, Donny, and other guys, right? Archie Gray is an English guy who we can register to under 21s, right? And play him whenever we want, right? It's not the issue of buying Archie Gray. He's not the issue, right? He's actually, like, I back Ian on this, right? He's doing a tremendous job with the shit show we've put this guy in, right? Because he's 18-year-old and we try to, like, what? Today with playing in the midfield, it's what, his 5th position or 4th position that he has played for us, right?
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous what we ask of this guy, right? And also the point I made with Dragusin, right? Gray has been playing every single game for like 25 games already, right? He's on his last breath, right? Again, Dan, I get your point, right? But the issue is not that we bought Archie Gray, right? I have stated it plenty of times, right? I had no issues with bringing in Young, Bergvall, and Gray, right? I had no issues with the fact that we got them, right? I understand that the club wants to buy like, prospects, right? And whatever, right? The issue is not buying other players, right? And let's not pretend that spending 40 million on Gray has financially fucked this club so much, right? That we cannot afford to spend another 40 million on an experienced player, right? This is the issue, right? This club chose to be in this situation, right? And with one thing that I think you mentioned, Stel, about like people, like some idiots online saying, "Oh, we will challenge for third," right? This squad is so great, right?
Lunatics,
this squad that,
man.
right? Guys, we don't even have 2 players per position in this squad, right? We don't even have 2 left backs, right? Okay, we have Region, right? But let's be honest about it. None of us treated this guy as a serious part of this squad, right? And we have guys who just look at the starting 11, overrated to high heavens, right? And think that we will magically finish third, right? It's simple pattern recognition. You look at Arsenal and the holes that they have in their squad, right? With much better players than us, and how much they are struggling when 1 or 2 players gets injured, right? And those same guys look at our squad and think we can challenge for third, right? It's lunacy. It's just low IQ analysis, right? You look at that squad, you look at the players that we have, right? And somehow you come out to a conclusion that we'll finish third, right? I feel stupid for predicting 5th or 6th, right? I still stand by the fact that I think with a proper management and like proper care given to the squad is capable of finishing in the Europa League spot, right? But it's just complete lunacy. And again, I want to state again, right? Archie Gray is not the issue, and let's not like harp on this guy and harp on the fact that we brought him in. I am actually kind of happy we have him, right? He fucking looks like a player, right? I'm not saying he will be special and fucking next Messi or whatever, right? But I am actually happy with what I'm seeing from him. Again, with the context of the shit show we've put this guy in, right? But he's not the issue. The issue is not bringing in Locatelli with him, right? We can afford to bring in Locatelli. Let's not pretend this club is fucking skinned, right? And sorry for swearing so much, but it's honestly pissing me off.
Michael, and that's why, right? Michael, and that's why you can come in.
I just want to quickly give advice to this person. This Chris Waynes, I don't know if you're a troll. You say us, so I'm assuming you're a Spurs fan. Please stop it with the Nuno comments. All right, stay off the drugs. Please stop with these Nuno responses. Like, I'm reading 10 of them. You're calling me out and our channel out. All right. At that time, Nuno wasn't the okay. So just end it, please.
They can say what they want. Listen, as long as he's here watching, helping the algorithm. It's cool, man. I love you.
Yeah.
Thanks
and Michael, that's why I made.
Maz, you got to go. Asper. Do you need to go?
No, I was going to say something about great, but don't worry, Mass can go first.
Okay, so
Well,
yeah.
my
I'll bring
point
you
is
up.
short anyway. And that's why I said that Ange and the coaching staff and the whole of the management team, Mun and Lange, right, made such a bad job of configuring this squad because they've just done the same old thing but in a slightly different way this time round. They've just focused on getting out the deadwood, right? Which, let's be honest, we all wanted to see. But rather than getting rid of 2 or 3 of them and just then replacing them with 3 quality £50 million players or £60 million players, what did we do? We got rid of them and brought in more deadwood, right? Which didn't uplift the squad. Look, I'm not Skip's biggest fan. I'm not Pierre Højbjerg's biggest fan. I'm not Eric Dyer's biggest fan. I'm not Sanchez's biggest fan. Right? You can list them all out. But my God, does the old team look better than the team we've got now? You know, I'm sort of crying to myself, thinking, "Oh my God, why did we get rid of Lo Celso?" I know he was injured just as much as Richarlison is, but he was a brilliant player compared to what we've got now. At least he made himself known in that midfield.
What about these two?
Well, they done us over today, didn't they?
Winks were good today, actually.
Yeah, Winks was good.
And Højbjerg. Listen, I want to bring Brian Daigle in because he's got to go.
Yeah,
let me
go
bring him in
in.
quickly. I've got a quick super chat as well. It's been sitting there for a while. Quickly read it. Big up, Sava. Evening, chaps. Crazy to think we have less points by February this season than we did after 10 games last year. You were right about this shit manager. We were right about this shit manager all along. The cult of Ange can go with him. Did you know that? After 10 games last year, we had more points than after where we are now. It's crazy. Brian, I saw your explosive rant on Tottenham TV, bro. That was epic, man. That was absolute.
Bigger Brian.
Still, you know what it. You know what I said while speaking with Ben last night, as in We Are Tottenham TV, and I think it was after you and me had spoken, and I said we're not winning tomorrow. I said, Ben, I have to let you know, if we lose, I'm going to go on one of the most epic rants you've ever seen. And I said, I'm going to try and keep it calm. And he goes, "What? Why calm? Where's Angry Daigle gone? Why haven't we seen him?" I was like, "Okay, if we lose, you'll get it." And my God, I weren't having it anymore. Listen, the reason I've come on very quickly is not going to shout and scream, not going to rant and rave. All I am going to say is, mate, today is a joyous day. Today is a joyous day. I've calmed down now. Today is something that I've wanted to see since October the 26th, 2007. Something I've been campaigning for since 26th of October, 2007. Still, you and I, when we first started coming on YouTube and when we started doing everything, it's time for a bit of reflection, people, and a time to realise what has actually been going on since around COVID, where people beforehand had voiced their frustration at this ownership and voiced their anger and said, this is what this owner's going to do, this is what this board are going to do. But everyone swallowed the bullshit they were serving. People like yourself and my where Levy out was just okay, things are... In my house is falling apart. As you do. We were going on to shows and saying this and got called every single name under the sun. Abusive words, racial slurs, you name it, we got it. Did it stop us? No. Did we carry on doing what we did? Yes. There's people in your chat now that have followed you and I, and people like Sava, Danny Kiriakou, has when he's done his thing, Maz, Iggy, I can list a long list.
Mari, man.
I can go on. I can go on. Then, obviously, COVID and everything and we were all calling and all saying this shit. But then it came to the Super League and protesting, and the people that protested and wanted to fight for this football club and want to see better, again, let's go at them. Negative, toxic, blah, blah, blah. Did we stop? No. Did we turn up on high streets? Did we go to training grounds? Did we again take the abuse? Did we again get the nonsense? Did we get the, oh, you can't wait till you look forward to losing? Then people like Sava came into the YouTube world, and so many others that have been banging this drum for so long, and have been tried to be hounded out. People in the international fan base as well, like Michael, like Scott M, like others. Did we stop? No, we fucking didn't. Did we carry on? Yes, we did. Did we get absolute tirades of abuse, slander, racial slurs, pictures for me that Ian has seen of pictures of my family with outfits, and people saying, get your parents on the train and turn the ovens on?
Yeah,
because we stood up. That was
yeah.
because we stood our ground, because we said this was happening. We got the chants going. We got looked at like we were diseased. Did we stop? No. Did we carry on? Yes. With every single passing manager, with every single passing transfer window, with every single passing embarrassing defeat, there was always the excuses. And then we get up to the current date, where things have been going again, and more people have been jumping on board. And fair play to you. And I will say very quickly, change for Spurs and Jay today, what they put on and what they did under the radar, fair fucking play to them. Fair goddamn play. Everyone is talking about it. The foundations were laid. People like Ian, who's come into the community and on Spaces, that has been saying everything he says. Every single one of us stood our ground and have prayed for a day like today. And it took to today to get where we are now, after all the abuse, after all the stuff we had to go through. And this is it. And even when it comes down to and you probably heard that bloody word context. If I hear that word context again, I swear to God, because it is never ever used. Isn't it amazing? People like you and me still, we're not going to beat Leicester. We're not going to beat Leicester. We played last week, played in Europe. We've got no players. They've had a week off. Oh, yeah, we're going to beat Leicester. They're crap. They've lost 7 games. They're at the bottom of the league. They can't buy anything. They're shit. They're this. Well, we're Tottenham. We can beat them. We're Tottenham. We lose them. Oh, yeah, but we got injuries. Oh, yeah, but we got this. Well, you weren't talking about your injuries before. It was Leicester are crap. People don't realise how shit we are. People don't realise how crap we are. We've had this manager has known how bad this squad is. The owners have known how bad this squad is. Injury setbacks have happened. Is there any help? No. Tottenham Hotspur Business Club this season. Let's weigh this up. Tottenham Hotspur this January, the football club. An outfield player. We had 6 goalkeepers already, but let's bring in a 7th. We had to get him in before the window, before the summer, and everyone else wants to get him. But let's do that. Let's not get any outfield players. Tottenham Hotspur Business Club. Let's sign 50 Cent. Let's sign a Korean coffee and patisserie called Paris. Let's announce the Rolling Stones, the only satisfaction people will get in that ground. And if you're a Rolling Stone fans, you'll get the reference to that word. We have signed Nigel, Ben and Eubank. How ironic. A fight that hasn't even got a title at the end of it is being paraded at the ground. We'll celebrate 40,000 tickets being sold for Saracens versus Harlequins. All this for the business club. The money for the revenue that brings in doesn't go on the team. It goes on the entertainment complex to attract bigger stars and get them to the Tottenham rather than Wembley. Today, I don't even care what happened on the pitch. We're shit. We are absolutely fucking pathetic. We can't field a team. We take off a striker and don't put a striker on. But it's all good. It's all part of the bullshit production that is Tottenham Hotspur. It's an absolute joyous day where people like yourself, Stel, myself, and everyone here on this panel, whether I've stuck with a manager all the time when I shouldn't have, maybe that was wrong of me. But I wanted to believe in a manager. Always stuck true to myself with the board and this ownership. And always said it doesn't matter what manager comes in, we're screwed. Doesn't matter. But do you know what? Still,
yeah.
I was just going to say in final, today is the day. This ain't a day of I told you so. This ain't a day of why did you not get here sooner. This is a day where finally the home fan base, every single channel, have flipped completely. And I do mean for Ricky Sachs, I was just watching, has gone absolutely ballistic. And I know you said still they don't. It's all changing now. It's all changing. This now isn't a time right now of any I told you so. You're right, you're wrong, you're in the. And you've got these idiots that are out, that want to back the manager or back the board and go, well, you can't celebrate success. Not once have I turned around or you turned around.
They're doing it, Brian. They're doing it because I've gone apeshit saying, stop complaining, stop moaning, take action. Take action.
No, this is the point where we are now there. We are now there.
Look, but Brian,
you just
let me
done a very.
Dan, go on.
Brian, well said, mate. You just done a very good job of putting the context into the whole situation.
Don't say that, fucking Dad. Don't make me hit you, mate. Don't make me come and lamp you up there. No, this is what it is now. I don't care where we are, who people hate, look at whatever. We are now in a position, Dan. You have put a smile. Internally, I'm smiling. Internally, I am smiling. Dan. We are at the point now where this is a real turning point.
Brian,
this is the biggest turning point, and I am on board, and I will do anything and everything. Like I've always said, whilst there is air in my lungs, blood in my veins, and my heart is beating, I will fight.
Right.
And now we have
Brian,
the army.
But I just want to add one thing to this, okay? This is where I stand with it, because you and I haven't always taken the same approach. You know,
no, we haven't.
The amount of people close to me that have said, Stel, do you really want to go down that road? Stel, are you sure? Stel, don't do that. And I've never listened. I've rarely listened. Maybe once or twice. All right, okay, cool. I won't.
Yeah, okay. Once or twice.
I'm being honest, right? Once or twice, I'm like, but I honestly feel someone had to bang this drum and take it to certain levels where people felt like, oh, fucking just go away. Right. And honestly, this is where I'm at with it now. My view completely changed after listening to Ricky Sachs today. Right. I've called Abby Summers out saying, you say all the right things, but you don't take action. Matt Hayes, I've had plenty of shit off of him. And he's called me out for being Levy out and out. He's now saying and out. The Spurs Supporters Trust, Martin Cloak and Cat Law, they came for me. They came for the protesters. They ended up having to step down from their role because it got messy for them. Martin Bugaya, he stepped down from the trust because he can't bring about the change that he knows is needed. Danny Kelly, he's a bit like Abby Summers, says all the right things. I'm not getting involved. Expressions, you know, he cusses his hands saying, oh, we're just here for entertainment. But I've said, but bro, you're the same. You're just entertainment. You don't take action, right? Then you got Kate and Jim. I've had unbelievable shit off of them too. They even turned on Ellie, all because she wanted to keep Højbjerg, right? Now they're moaning about it. You've got Chris Cowlin, Ricky Norwood, all of that, all of the Cowlin lot. They don't take action. They got called out on it. They get defensive, and now they're saying, do you know what? What can we realistically do? Now they're entertaining the idea. You've got Fighting Cock. We spoke about them already. Ali Gold, he's now ramping up his rhetoric where people said, but he's a journalist. What do you want him to do? Well, he seems to be quite vocal now. And then you've got Dr. Tottenham. What's his name? Vass. He called me Farrell. He called me toxic. He called me poison. Now he's Levy out. Now he's Levy out and out for all the things he called me Farage, toxic and poison for. And then you've got last word on Spurs, who have never taken action. In fact, it was Jason McGovern and Lee McQueen, I never forget this, who absolutely slammed the protesters, saying we're nasty, we're horrible, because two drunken fans turned up at the protest and sang songs about cancer and Levy. and they ring fenced everyone as part of that. We didn't even know who those two were that turned up. Did they come to the process to see with their own eyes?
I have the answer.
I'm going to wrap it up, Brian. I'm going to wrap it up. Brian, I'm going to wrap it up. Right? I'm going to wrap it up. Right? I'm going to wrap it up. And then Chris Cowlin, he comes to the protest, takes photos, puts it on his media. Why don't you come and join us? But tonight, Ricky Sack said, and this actually got me thinking. This really got me thinking. He said, given all of these people, what they, all this shit that's been going on, and they're the people I know. The other 1.6 billion of them on social media that have been racist, nasty, and shit, and they're all the victims. I'm the devil. Tonight, Ricky Sack said he will speak to people about protests. He wants to get involved, but only if it's organised and structured. And do you know what? I fully agree with him. I 100% agree with what he says.
And
So hold on, Murray. If he and the last word on Spurs crowd, and then the fighting cock, and then the expressions, and then the all the rest of them, the trust and everyone can organise and do things the way they want that makes them feel comfortable, guys, I won't say another word ever again, because like Brian just said, mission complete. I've never said we can get rid of them. All I've said is at least try. And if they can get on board with it and it's organised and it's structured, guys, I will never make another video. I will never talk about it. I will go quiet and I'll stand in the background at the back of the protest, participating in whatever they organise. Because like I said, mission complete. And that's what I'm at.
I have the answer, Brian. I have the answer for you guys. Because I thought about it the other day, because I've turned sour about the protests. And I'm like, you know what? Protest. Like, not protesting at the game. It's protesting in front of the Beatles concert, whatever concert.
Rolling Stones. Mate, listen, I'm back in April and I'm going to race.
Because the thing is, when you have 20,000, 15,000, that's a good enough number. In front of that stadium, the concert goers, the promoters, they're there. They see, wow, there's noise. And I said this a couple weeks ago. You make noise inside the stadium, outside the stadium.
Murray, listen, I have to go because I promised Ben and We Are Tottenham would do something. So I'm literally just going over there to do what I've got to do with him. Guys, all I will say, just keep the good
Brian,
fight.
Can I ask Brian, what's Sim saying about after today? Because he's always been Angie in, hasn't he?
He's now promoting Levy out like mad. He's going mad on their Twitter with Change for Spurs and everything. Listen. Last thing I'll say about Sim is Sim has been like me and tried to just back a manager. That's all he's done. Yes, I think he's deluded now, but that's all he has done is try. Mate, I've joked about with Sim and said I think he's had a knock to the head. And when I see him, I'm going to act with him like a piñata and just get a baseball bat and tap him on the head so I can lodge him back in the right place.
I went on We Are Tottenham TV on his show and I said, Sim, you're the problem.
I've heard yours like I heard me. Listen, Ben has always been where we are. Sim has a different view when it comes to
Sim's
managers.
a good lad, though. Sim's a good lad. He's a good lad.
They listen. What I will say, and I'm going to say this because I'm just about to go on to Ben, and Stel will vouch for this. When Stel and I were the first proper people on YouTube that were proper banging this drum, Ben and Simeon were the only channel that would welcome us on and let us speak non-stop about whatever we want, when we wanted. We would try and get on other channels, me and Stel. They wouldn't touch us with that. Wouldn't touch us with the basketball.
Ben was at all the protests, especially the ESL one. He was.
And on that note, I am going to go rejoice in the battle being won, and now we get to win the war. And as always, Levy out.
See you, Brian.
I've got to jump as well, man.
I got to jump now. Yeah, I got to jump. Just to finish my point.
See you later.
Well done, Dan. You spoke a lot tonight.
Let Dan have his say, then go. Then I'll come to you. Go on, Dan. You got to have a say, man. Do you know what? It's difficult when there's 10 people on a show, man. I try and keep it to 6. But I felt bad tonight because I knew everyone wanted to speak, so I didn't know what to do. Just
It's
everyone
fine,
on.
man. It's good to be here with everyone and hearing everybody, man. It's good. It's a good place to be. So big up to everybody for coming on, man. It's tough times. Look, let's just hope Angie's gone ASAP, and hopefully we get some news in the morning. I pray. But anyway, guys, good night to you all. Enjoy the rest of the show.
See you later.
Take care.
Good night, mate.
Guys, everyone, make sure you subscribe to the Spurs Dan list. He has some really good shows, man. You got to support him. The Spurs Dan list. Just log off here for 2 seconds, go there and just subscribe, and then come back.
I just last want to say
one thing I said to you, look.
I'm about to bounce.
Let Murray say good night, Dan, because you're still going to be here for a minute.
Now, the reason why I say that is because what speaks to Levy is other entities, and if it's Spurs fans protesting, like, this is our stadium. This is what this stadium is built for. It's a football club, and we have 15 to 20,000 people making noise that rattles the sponsors and rattles the promoters of these events. That goes straight to his telephone. That goes straight to Daniel Levy. And that is noise that he does not want. And I think, not say don't protest at the games, but the best protest is protesting at those events. The only example I can give you, I've told you guys before, I'm a New York Knicks fan, and that's what the Knicks fans did. Beyonce concert, right? Oh, the fans at Madison Square Garden, they were outside, making it uncomfortable, for concert goers, because they're going in to walk in, they see protests going on, right? That's uncomfortable. So the same script, in sense of, okay, these fans who are going to see Rolling Stones, who are seeing WizKid and all these other people, and they're like, hey, what's this? What's this going on? Spurs protest, right? That will get on the news. At a concert, Spurs protesters are there. It's just an idea. It's just a thought.
No, Maury, I agree with you. I think that's a better way to protest.
Yeah, because the promoters, they're calling to be like, hey, look, because they know we're coming to the games. But when you get promoters and other people who are paying Levy money and say, hey, look, we want our concert goers to go into a concert, not having to walk through protesters, that's a problem. That is a problem. And so it's just an idea that, I would think would be a very effective protest cry. But big up to the panel. I got to go. Oh, that's a fire alarm. Well, perfect time to go. And,
Murray, evacuate. Get out of there.
Yeah. Levy out, Ange out, Enoch out, Tavstock out. Anybody that's associated with the board, out. And I'm out.
And I'm out.
Yeah, you're out. See you later, mate.
Yeah, Dan, you wanted to say something, bro?
Now, with that, I've said it a little while now. Social media is one of the most powerful things on this planet. If you start getting everybody linking up together, get the bigger channels linking up and the smaller channels linking up and start fighting for the same thing. Whether you like the channel you're fighting with, whether you don't like the person on it, at the end of the day, if you all want the same thing and everyone's going to work together, you can start getting that noise about. You can start seriously getting a bit of noise about. You can start getting people listening, and you have a chance of more people turning up when bigger channels start saying this prick has got to go, and it can go from there. And from what you're saying, it looks like it is starting. How far it goes, only time will tell. But it is starting.
Can I just... Dan, it does look like it. The only thing that will stop this, and believe me, I know this fan base too well, 2 or 3 wins in a row, especially an unexpected win at Anfield, and we get to a cup final, it all dies away, man. And this is the weakness we have. We're too easily pleased. By the way, people in the chat calling out Sava, right, about protesting. There's many ways to protest. You can do it as a demonstration, as a boycott, as refusing to give the club money. Sava hasn't been to a game in about 2 years. He is boycotting. There's many people that watch this show who gave up their season tickets. They're like, enough, I'm boycotting. There's many ways you can show your protest, right? Just remember that. It's not just about being outside. We want Levy out. We want Levy. But there's many ways. Today, the banner in the stadium. Again, I get accused for going to games before I stopped going to games. All you do is give money if you go to the ground and you're feeding Levy. Well, here's the thing. If these guys never pay to go in the stadium, this banner doesn't get put up. So what do? Right? Sometimes you've got to pay to protest as well. So I just wanted to, put that out there.
Well, and as we have said many times, it's not just about YouTubers and YouTube channels going to protest. You need activists. You need the big body of fans doing it, and hopefully after today, that is what's going to happen. So let's wait and see how it develops.
It's really encouraging. I spoke to Billy Cairns 2 years ago about talking to all the main YouTubers like yourself, Stel, and just get everybody together on the same page. And Billy said it will never happen. And you've said that all along as well, Stel, until tonight with you and Brian, and maybe now after what we've seen this season. And if you, as I keep banging on, if you neglect the business, you can stay lucky for only so long, and Levy's luck has run out, and now he is in serious shit. And he's heading towards relegation, which will be catastrophic for the club financially. Can you imagine all the banks that have lent him God knows how much, looking at the cost that he's got, and if we end up in the Championship? He's got a team without leaders. He's got a manager that's clueless, that won't know how to get us out of a relegation dogfight, like, for argument's sake, experts at relegation in battle clubs like Dyche, Allardyce, Warnock. You take any of those three in front of Ange in a relegation fight. I know that. This guy he is the worst. This April will be 60 years since my first Spurs match. 60 years. I have never seen a manager as bad as this one tactically. He is horrendous. I've seen Terry Neal. I've seen Christian Gross. Jerry Francis wasn't that great either. We've had Santini, who was crap as well. Thank God he only lasted two or 3 months. But this guy takes the biscuit for just about every single area of running a first team that you could do badly. He has done badly. And the one thing I cannot understand is all the Spurs fans who are passionate, that want success for their club, think that he is going to bring it, think that Enoch are going to bring it as well. What planet are they living on? We've had 18 months of rubbish with Ange. The bigger problem is we've had 24 years of nonsense with these owners who, to their credit, were very honest about it and actually said buying a football club is only a reason for getting rich. They were honest about what they were doing. And unfortunately, everybody dreamed, hoped that maybe they get into Spurs, they see what great history and tradition this club has, and they would enjoy it. Levy's son evidently and his second wife are mad Spurs fans. It hasn't even rubbed off on him from his wife and his kid. Words fail me. The sooner they go, the better we'll get our club back. That's when we'll get our Tottenham back, when Enoch fuck off. I can't put it any clearer than that.
By the way, just as a scenario, right? To everyone that's thinking, no, even if we drop, we'll come straight back up, right? Championship will eat this club the fuck up, right?
You're right.
You guys watch some championship matches, right? It's not Premier League. It's not Premier League
when
everything
we'll
is
bottle
rosy.
it. Michael, we'll bottle the championship.
I am not kidding, right? Watch some championship matches. Watch how much those crowds are behind their team, right? You play 46 matches in the championship, right? You also play Carabao Cup and FA Cup, right? They have more fixture congestion than we do in the Premier League, right? It's not a joke. And
The whole makeup,
repercussions, right?
Yeah, the whole makeup of the team, the way we operate, would drastically have to change.
And the physicality as well. We would come out of that game by game with no kneecaps left, because that.
Do you guys agree? Do you guys agree? Right, as fans, we only want 3 things. 1, a footballing plan. An actual plan where we can say we get what you're trying to do, something that we can get behind and be patient with. Mm-hmm. Number 2, a coach that can actually coach players, that can just don't worry about winning just for now. We just want to see you work with players and say, freaking hell, you're getting a good tune out of this one. Oh, he's improved. And number 3, just some signings that get us excited again. If we could have a club that had a football plan, a coach that can coach, and some, they don't have to be amazing signings, but just signings where we say, oh, fucking hell, that's decent.
No.
Plan,
I disagree with you still.
Coaching and signing. Don't you think most fans would be like, you know what? I'm on board.
No.
Of course you do, Mas. Of course you do.
No, still. This is the problem. No, sorry. I have to step in. This is. Hold on, Ian. Right. This is why we're in trouble as a club. Right. What you just said, Stel. So you're part of the problem in this instance, right?
God, I can't wait to hear
we need right. We need as a club. Right, we need to recognise that we are a professional football club, and that every competition we go in, we need to win. Right, we need to have ambition. The goal of the club is to win. Right, that should be paramount. Right, then
how do you get there? You need a coach. You need a football plan, Maz.
No,
you need a plan of how to get there.
No, but
it's
what
like
I'm
saying, I want to be a millionaire. Okay.
Now wait. What I'm talking about is an ethos. You need to have an ethos, right? And then you put your plan in place to say, right, what is our goals? What is our plan? How are we going to get there?
Oh, right. You're saying what's the end game? You need to know what the end game is. First.
Absolutely, right?
I agree. But that's in the football plan, isn't it? The football. So, okay, I should elaborate. The football plan would be: this is what we want to achieve. This is how long it will take, and these are the steps we need to implement in order to get there. That's what I meant by a football plan.
Yes, because the reason why I wanted to jump in, because that's the same. If you don't have that as at the forefront, then it's like saying I just want entertaining football, which is the same arguments I was having with many fans and Adrian more specifically. You can't just want entertaining football, because that in itself doesn't work. You have to have ambition. You have to have a goal. You have to aim to finish as high up in the league as possible, right? And fine, you're not going to go from 20th position to first, right? But you're going to say, okay, this season we want to finish, I don't know, 16th. Next season we want to finish 13th. Next season we want to finish 9th. Next season we want to finish 6th, and incrementally go up, right? And you could say that period from, let's say, 2010 to 2019, we were content with what was happening and how ENIC were running the club, because you could see a level of progression that peaked at with the 2019 Champions League Cup final. So I just wanted to make that point still.
Yeah. Also,
I agree. I agree.
Go on.
Can I say something? Sorry. I disagree with some points Maz made, because I have a different view on the way the club's been run from those time periods. I think the club hasn't gone forward footballing wise from 2010, because we made the Champions League under Redknapp, and since then we haven't really, in my opinion, progressed as a club. Like, we finished second, third, whatever. We never made the step up to become an elite club, because obviously there was all that promise. We'll make the Champions League. This is the change. Blah 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 blah. And they deflected us again with the stadium, saying, "Oh no, the stadium is now the game changer, not Champions League football. The stadium is now the game changer." And it wasn't, obviously, because we're fucking worse than we were back then. Now, and on top of that, we're paying like ridiculously high ticket prices, right? So you can't say just buying half decent players is like a good enough, really, because you kind of need to argue that you need to be signing 2 to 3 top class players, like Conte was saying every summer, because the club is generating shit ton of money. Like Dan would say, some of the highest money in sport, like totally, not just football. So that idea, that I agree with the plan thing. Like, there needs to be a plan, and there needs to be transparency from the club. We get literally like everything is a deflection or a lie. Literally, that's what we're getting right now. Everything's a deflection or a lie, and that's the problem in itself. Until we get transparency, nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
What about having a plan, guys, regarding the first team, regarding established players, regarding bringing through kids, buying in players, so that all of them peak at the same time? Instead of
That'll be a plan. That'll be a plan.
Guys,
let him finish 1 minute. Go on, let him finish. Instead of having different players from different managers with different styles all mixed in, I think it was ridiculous. I remember someone saying Conte had players from 6 or 7 different managers. going all the way back to AVB. And it's just a complete nonsense. I don't know how you actually put together a winning club. First of all, you're right, Maz. The ethos has got to start from the top. You've got to have new owners that come in and say, right, obviously, if we bought the club for 3 or 4 billion, whatever they want, whatever they're going to get, it's big money. They've got to earn money. They've got to make a profit. But they're gonna mix. They're gonna, rather than run it as an accountant like Levy has, and you can't run it as a fan like Ridsdale did, and Masheri has at Everton. You have a mix of the two. You have a balance. So you make a profit at the same time as build a football club. Because at the end of the day, and I don't know what the figures year ending 23-24 are going to be, but the figures for 22-23 were 549 turnover, of which all but 70 million was for the football. Now, even if that's doubled, if that's 150 million, say, on 520, and 520 is going to be even more this year because you've got increasing season ticket prices. You've got more.
Ian's sitting there like.
No, I'm just saying. You could end up with 600 million plus, with everything added on. So again, the amount of money percentage-wise for the football is going to be far greater than all the off-field activities. So football is absolutely key. And Levy's taken his eye off the ball. Not for me. He's never even wanted to be on the ball. But he's got to get his eye back on the ball if he's staying. And he's got to start putting some fucking effort into this footballing side.
Well, don't forget, he's also committed to a hotel, 3 luxury apartment towers, and a sports complex behind the South Stand. That's £100 million development he's committed to.
Plus White Webbs Park, where they want to build an NFL training ground and a football pitch for the women's team.
Yeah.
And you listen
so his focus has gone, Ian. His focus has gone. It's not on the football team, isn't it?
But if the football team suffers, everything else gets blown up. The whole thing falls apart. They fall into the championship next season. And believe me, at the moment, one of the guys, there was a comment on here before that said we're 8 clear of Wolves and Ipswich, 2 wins, we're 14 clear. Where are we going to get 2 wins from at the moment?
Well, let's look at the fixtures. Let's look at the fixtures coming up. By the way, good night, Sava. He says, night, lads, I'm off to watch some sort of crime documentary that will no doubt have more attack than this supposed attacking football from Ange. Please let him be sat to the morning, please. Oh, man. Let's, do you know what? Let me get the fixtures. Hold on. I'll get the fixtures up. Let's see exactly what's going on.
Mate, I've been looking at Ipswich and Leicester fixtures for the past 2 weeks to see where they're going to pick up points.
Right. So, this was a key game because this was arguably one of the easiest games of our run coming up. And don't forget, we've also got European games and cup games in the middle, so there's no respite for the players, and we're picking up more injuries, which is probably the most concerning thing. Right, let's. Right, I'm going to bring this up. How do this? Share screen. Sorry, guys, just technically incompetent. Right, so can I make this any bigger? Yeah, I don't. Right, so we've just lost to Leicester. Look at the run we've been on, by the way. Lost to Forest, drew with Wolves, lost to Newcastle, beat Liverpool in the Cup, beat Tamworth, lost to Arsenal, lost to Everton, just about beat Hoffenheim, lost to Leicester. Our league form is awful. We've got a game on Thursday against IF Elfsborg. I think a draw should be enough, but really you've got to try and win it. You don't want to risk it. Then we've got Brentford on the weekend.
Lost.
Then we've got midweek under the lights, Anfield.
Lost.
Then a few days later, Aston Villa away in the Cup. They won today.
Lost.
Then we've got Man United 6-pointer. Look, they're shit, but they're picking up points where we're not. They beat Fulham
as well.
Well, if we can't beat Leicester, we can't assume that we're going to beat Man United.
Yeah. Right. Then we've got
we're
Ipswich
getting
away.
relegated with this manager. There's nothing anybody wants to. We're going down. I don't see. I've gone through the pictures this afternoon. The only place I see us picking points is Southampton. We're going down. We're going down.
Well, look. Well, Teslim, we've got Ipswich away. Then we've got Man City, who, listen, we are their bogey team, but under these
My God.
circumstances, are we going to be the bogey team?
By then, we'll be cooking in City anyway.
Right.
They
Then we're
will
up.
face fuck us. They will face fuck us.
Pornhub.
What's that, Mike? Get the old spit roast out and that, yeah?
Yeah, it's just fucking Pornhub setting.
That's very graphic, Michael. Fucking hell.
It's true. The game's going to be the game.
I don't care because that's what's going to happen. Fuck's sake, like
the game's going to be on OnlyFans. Then we've got the most informed team in the land, Bournemouth.
3-0 loss.
I'm coming to that game. Woo!
3-0 loss.
Oh yeah, I'm going with Michael to this one. Right, Fulham away. Right, Fulham away. Then we've got Chelsea. We never win there. Never win there. And then our next win, Southampton on the 5th of April.
then Wolves away, where we
we'll
always
lose the Wolves.
fucking lose or draw. Yeah.
Wolves, Nottingham Forest at home. They'll just shut shop. Liverpool away in the league. They'll be going for a league title. West Ham away. Guys, look at this.
Yeah.
Maybe we beat Palace. Villa away. Brighton. Like, you look at it.
Villa away.
So do you know what? This is why, right? This is why. When you look at the fixtures, when fans say, "Oh, relax, we're not in a relegation battle," based on what? What are we basing it on?
We're winning the game until April.
We're not confident until April. We might win a couple, but we're not confident, are we? And
I just don't see us winning the game. If Ange is here, we ain't winning the game till Southampton. I'm with Tesla. We're going down, man. We're actually.
Should I tell you? Yeah. If I'm being honest with you, I do not see us winning any game except from Southampton. The only one that I see us trying to get something in is Wolves, and that's if they lose Cunha. I genuinely think that if they don't lose Cunha, I'm not joking, we're going down. And like, we're diving in head first into the championship. I'm not even playing. We're going like this into the championship. This manager is going to take us down. And
for us to go down,
I think
who's below us? Southampton, they're gone. They're gone. Then it's who? Leicester and Ipswich. Are they the two
Leicester, Everton, Ipswich, Wolves.
Well, we will lose to Ipswich, so they'll gain a few points from us then.
Everton with Moyes will stay up. Everton under David Moyes will stay up.
Definitely.
Anyway, then.
So if this carries on, it's between us, Ipswich. I think it's if this carries on, which it probably will, it's going to be between us, Ipswich, and Leicester. So the question is, can we win more games than Ipswich? And I can't even believe we're having this fucking conversation. Are we really having this chat?
It's ridiculous.
Well, we're losing. We're going to lose to Ipswich. That's 6 points gone. Let's be honest. We're losing to Ipswich away. I think personally.
Should I see the only person that I see saving Tottenham for right now? And I know everybody's saying Iraola, but believe me, that brother is not going to leave his club. That is currently sat. They are currently sat what in the league to come to Tottenham Hotspur. Never in this life is he going to do that. The only manager, and the reason why I say this guy is because he has been in a relegation fight before.
Oh yeah, say the name.
He has done it. He has done it. Wait, he has done it without his best player, and that's Thomas Frank. They are currently sat 11th, and he's going to work with whatever he's given. Just give Frank the job. Let's stay up, and he's going to work with whatever he's given because that's a similar model to what they do at Brentford. So he's going to keep us up. But genuinely speaking, and that's the manager that we can realistically bring. But if we stick with this manager, I'm not even joking. We're going down. We are actually going down. And I can only laugh about it.
Teslim, let me ask something. Right? Let me ask something. All this season, right? And I'm one of those fans. I said I don't care if we finish mid-table, as long as we win a cup, I'll take it. I don't give a shit about top four. Mid-table and the trophy, I'll take it.
I said that. Okay. I said that earlier. But now,
right? But hold on, exactly. But now the dynamics change. If we get relegated, it's disastrous. So the question is this: we can't compete in the Carabao Cup, in the Europa Cup, in the FA Cup, and the league. It's evident we cannot do that, guys. It's impossible. The squad is dead. So, same thing happened to Poch. Same thing happened to Mourinho. where they have to prioritise. And Poch went for the biggest trophies. He mugged off the Carabao, mugged off the FA, went for the league and the Champions League. Mourinho mugged off the league. Fuck the league. I'm going for the Carabao, but we were 7th or 8th. What does he mug off now? Because all season we've been saying, look, forget the league, it's done. But we can't forget the league now because we're in deep shit. So what in your opinion, guys, should he relinquish and say, forget that? And what should he focus on?
FA Cup.
We need to stay up at this point.
Yeah.
Am I crazy? Am I crazy for thinking he should mug off the Europa League? Because I genuinely don't think we can win it with this manager.
There's a lot of games left in Europa. There's a lot of games. So if he
think
gave
we
that
can win
up, it gives us a breather.
I don't think we can.
What would you?
You know what the issue is, right? We can't really give up Europa League now because we will qualify whether it's top 8 or the playoff, right? Let's just pray to God it's top 8, right? That we win against Elfsborg, because otherwise we have 2 another games, right? So I think honestly, the best course of action is to actually qualify in top 8, right? Like we have to win against Elfsborg at home. Let's be honest about it, right? I know it's not a given, right? After today, but you get the point, right? And I honestly think that we should fuck off FA Cup as soon as as we can, right? Because it's still like 6 games to win the FA Cup.
Villa
I know
away.
it sounds mad to say that, right? And we play against Villa away, so just fucking play under 21s, give everyone a rest, right? And the reason why I'm not saying Carabao Cup, right, is because technically we are 2 games away from winning the cup, right? I know we won't win against Liverpool, right? I am not saying that, but by the off chance that something stupid happens, right? I don't know, like Van Dijk for the first time in his career gets a headloss and just chops one of our players, right, and gets a red card in the 5th minute. There is a chance we can go to a final, right? So that's why I'm not saying Carabao Cup. And but the priority is the league, right? Priority is the league because
Michael, right? Let me go around, right? Let's say there's only 2 things you could focus on. You've got FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Europa League. What 2 would you focus on given our situation, Michael?
Carabao and the league.
Carabao and the league. Dan, which 2 would you focus on? What are you thinking?
Well, we've got to get our shit together in that league, otherwise we're looking at relegation. But I'd say Europa and league.
Mm-hmm.
Europa and league. So you get rid of the FA Cup and Carabao.
By the way, can I pick this guy up? It's one of my mates. Big up Savio, a super shout. He messaged.
Big up Savio, who says we need Dyche at this point. The day I see Sean Dyche in the dugout of Spurs is the day I officially cremate myself.
I think we've got more that we can get in the Europa Cup if we win it. Highly unlikely, but then I don't see us beating Liverpool either. FA Cup, yes, it's glory, whatever else. But if we get that Europa Cup, we get a European title, plus we get Champions League. So I think we've got to concentrate on that league because we don't want to be in this relegation shit. And if there's another cup to go into, for me, we've got to go for the Europa.
All right, Maz, you've got 2 competitions to focus on so that the depleted squad doesn't deplete anymore and we have some kind of chance of doing something this season. What do you focus on?
Purely on the number of games to help us stay up, it would have to be the league and obviously the Carabao because there's less games to play in the Carabao. I think we really are in danger of going down. So the less games we have, the more likely we're not going to pick up as many injuries, maybe, and we have players coming back. So that's my look on it.
Before I come to you, got a super chat from Linda. Thank you, Linda. She says, we beat Liverpool, then you are in a final, but you want to sack the manager. LOL, so Tottenham. I think the thing is, Linda, we don't think this manager's capable. That's the point, isn't it? But, yeah, you're allowed your view. Hasper, which 2 competitions?
Obviously the league, because I don't want to get relegated. And for me, Carabao Cup, because even though Europa League is like a bigger trophy, I think we just had to take too many games. And I think we kind of, I hate to say it this way, but the FA Cup, we kind of have to play like the kids under 18s or something because we're so depleted by that point, and put everyone in the first team for the midweek game and just kind of have to sack off the FA Cup. So Carabao Cup in the league. I agree with Michael and Maz on that. 100%.
Carabao Cup and the league. Teslim, what about you, bro?
I think the exact same thing, Carabao Cup and the league, because I saw us play one game a week last season and still not be able to finish in the top four. So we need to shave off as many games as possible. And that Europa League new format is killing people. And FA Cup is still a long way to go. So just try to get something in Carabao and try to save yourself in the league as well.
That seems a popular choice. By the way, big up. Asking if I'm doing a show tomorrow. Yes, I am. Here's the link, people. It's at the bottom. I've also put a link at the top of the comments. I'll be doing my tactical analysis show. And big up. Come and check it out. It's brilliant. Really good interactive show. Good diagrams and tools that I use. I think you will love it. Make sure you're there. Spurs v Leicester tactical analysis show. Follow the link. And if you want to come on the show, it's actual tactics as well. It's not just us going off on one. So yeah, come over. And if you want to jump on the show, there's a link where you can you request to join, and then I bring you in. So feel free to come and do it with me. Ian, you've got 2 competitions that you can focus on this season. Which 2 would you go for?
Well, I'm conflicted. I was listening to Dan now, and I was thinking, I echo everything that he said. If going down meant getting rid of Enoch, then I'd take that. And I'd go for the Carabao and the Europa. Because where are we going to go? Where are we going to go for another 24 years if they hang around?
Can I ask you something? If we got relegated but won the Europa, would we be the first ever team in the Championship in the Champions League?
Yes.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
Even Birmingham went down and they won the Carling with the Carabao Cup and they were in Europe whilst being in the Championship or something.
Wigan, yeah. So could you imagine on a Friday night, we've got on a Saturday afternoon we've got Millwall away, and then on Wednesday we've got Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. Then on the Saturday we're playing Darlington Rovers, and then on the weekend we're playing Bayern Munich.
QPR, yeah, QPR.
QPR.
We'll be on here. Next 6 games: QPR, Real Madrid, Plymouth, Dortmund. You know,
Sheffield Wednesday, Sunderland, Dortmund.
Yeah, Sunderland, Juventus.
And then we go Millwall and then play Fenerbahce or something.
We'll get freaking hell. Could you imagine that?
Fuck that.
We've got a question from Sava who says,
"Wasn't he
I'm still here?"
Sleep?
Maybe the crime documentary scared him. I don't know. If Ange got us relegated, would it be more hated? Would Ange be more hated than Sol Campbell? P.S. Gray could play centre mid if we go down.
No. I still people hate Sol Campbell more, if I'm being honest.
No. Well, yeah. It'll be daft, but I would like to
think Ange in people will support him. They will still support him.
I think Levy would be hated more than anything. Maybe not so much the manager.
I mean, Sol Campbell is more of do you know what? Let's take him around the corner, cut his fingers off, and hang him sort of thing. Whereas Ange would be taking him around the corner and just give him a kicking. That's how I see that one.
Welcome to way, everyone. Smash the like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you've got any fingers
that is how the Spurs fans in general feel at the minute. You know, and
I thought of
with like getting a beating.
I thought of a positive of going down to the Championship. We'll be a lot more on TV. Won't we?
And the red button. And the red button, Maz, as well.
Yeah, that's it.
No VAR. No VAR.
And I think a lot of the people want to watch Spurs in the Championship, actually.
Tickets should be cheaper, hopefully.
No, Levy will put them up to compensate the loss of income.
I was going to say, your season ticket would go down.
No, Maz, 4 more games. 4 more games.
Do you know what, guys? We laugh, right? We laugh about it, but in reality, we are seriously in trouble. Do you know that? We're laughing because at the back of our heads we think, nah, But the reality is, we
No,
are.
no,
We are in
no.
the thick of it.
I believe we could go down. Like, I'm being serious. I said this.
We're in free fall. Our
We're-
form,
we're
our
in the
form,
shit.
our
We're
form
in the
is
shit.
horrendous.
We're in the shit.
Our
We're in
form
the
is
shit.
awful.
I mean, this
Look
is
at it.
essentially this is essentially the biggest decision in Spurs' Tottenham career, right? Because if he sticks or twists, if he sticks with Ange, he's whatever he does next has got to work. It has got to work. If he sticks with him, well, that's a huge gamble in itself because everything's pointing to us definitely going down because we can't even beat teams below us. The only team we can beat below us is Southampton. So
Yeah, who lost their manager after that game, right?
It's a monumental. He's got a monumental decision. If tomorrow we don't wake up in the morning or at some point tomorrow, and Ange is not sacked, wow, what a gamble that is! An absolute gamble. And Ian's right. He's going to have his sponsors, the banks, who's financing his various projects, ringing him up saying, "You do realize if you go down, we're going to have to renegotiate our terms, or the banks will say, are you sure you can pay this back?"
Maz, you're 100% right. And the problem is, I think if he sticks with Ange, honestly, I'm with Tesden, bro. We're going down if he sticks with Ange.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, I believe he's put himself in this position because there's still loads of fans out there. I hate to say it because I said this was like this, that who will still stick with Ange and back Ange. So he's going to have to learn to take the brunt of it from some of these fans who a lot of us don't even like, right? But if he sacks Ange, he's going to still get people shouting at him and shit. Because there were some people who say, "Oh, you should have stuck with Ange and back Ange and not brought in some defensive manager or whatever kind of different kind of manager he brings in." There'll still be people on him, right? Not even just us who will still scream it out regardless, right? There'll still be people who are Ange and will turn on him for sacking him. So he's going to have to take the brunt of it.
Who is actually Ange in at this stage? Like, seriously. Like, who is Ange?
Hospital hippie.
Sim is engine. That's one.
I want them all drug tested. I want everyone on a
Even
machine
Sim.
blowing into a pipe. Yeah, Sim especially, 100%. He's got to be tested. Everyone needs to be tested. Listen, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. We're going on for 2 hours and 20 minutes. Everyone watching the show tonight, thanks for being here. We had over 1,300 at one point, and it's just been unbelievable. We are going to be back tomorrow night at 8:30, where I think we'll talk about the game in that show where we're a bit more calmer because we didn't actually talk about the game tonight. It became an emergency relegation show. Also tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. on Big Up. You can check me out in the tactical analysis show. Make sure you're there. Links at the top of the chat. Also, I forgot to say, because we just got so caught up on this, and it actually put a downer on a special day in the Spurs calendar. Happy birthday to this man, Bill Nicholson. Some called him the godfather of Tottenham, the first man to ever win a cup double in English football when Spurs were actually a football club, and it meant something.
He must be turning in his grave, man. He must be turning in his grave.
Oh, do you know what? I'm glad he's not alive for this, man. I'm glad he's not alive to watch this shit.
By the way,
Happy birthday to Bill Nick.
He must be
happy
turning
birthday
in
to Jose Mourinho.
must
Happy
be
birthday to
turning in
Jose
his
Mourinho.
grave.
Yeah, it's his birthday as well. Oh, yeah.
And an RIP for
Sorry,
Gary.
Mourinho and Bill Nick have got the same birthday.
2026, right?
That's unbelievable. Big up, Mourinho.
For a final, then why do we sacrifice it anyway?
And RIP Gary Brook. There was a very good minute's applause before the game for him as well.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but yeah, RIP to Gary Brook as well.
Yeah.
Guys, make sure you follow the Hotspur Hood. Go straight there, subscribe, like. He's on the road to 5,000. Teslim, we've got to get him to 1,000 subscribers. Teslim, have you got any shows coming up this week? You got anything planned?
I actually do have classes. Like, that's even why I said I needed to go to bed. So it's been quite exhausting doing YouTube. Why are you laughing?
I love Teslim. I do not. He's one of my most favorite content creators. I love
What
Teslim.
did I do? Why are you laughing?
Because you're so genuine, like you're so real. It's hilarious. Like you say it as it is. I love that.
No, we're not laughing at you, though.
No, we are not.
Okay, that's fine. That's
No,
fine.
I know.
That's fine.
you're just showing your innocence, man. I like it. You know what I mean? There's no agenda with you. You just say it as it is. It's nice. It's a good
How you
vibe.
see it, mate. It's the way to be.
I have classes, so it's been a struggle. But I did a video that I'm being serious now. I'm being serious.
Stop laughing, Stan. Stop laughing, man.
I'm being serious.
I know you are. That's why I'm laughing. Do you know what? You can't see what I'm seeing, man. It's brilliant. It's fucking.
By the way, best thing, I'm not laughing whilst pissing himself.
What are you studying? Are you university? Are you college? Where
You know anything? No, I'm done with uni. Yeah. So I graduated in December last month. But then right now I'm taking courses like different from what I did in school because I'm trying to learn some new stuff. So that's what I'm taking courses on. I'm trying to learn different things basically. I'm trying back-end coding, that's it. I'm trying coding, I'm trying to learn new stuff and see what's for me. Just dip my hand into several things.
Oh, good money in coding. If you can get good at that,
exactly.
The future's going to be AI programming.
If you can get a job.
Trust me, so I'm trying to find what's for me. And I've really been going through it because Tottenham is not doing well. I'm stressed in my normal life. It's just a lot going on in my life right now. Yeah.
You sound like a proper Spurs fan. I'm stressed. Stop going to plan. Dan, you got any shows coming up this week?
Yes, I have, and that's on Tuesday. It was going to be in the morning, but I've got to dodge other shows and that. It's at 5:30 in the afternoon, and it's going to be loud. I have a bit of emotion to take out, and I'm not usually one to take emotion out. I'm usually quite laid back, I think. So yes, be there for 5:30.
Guys, check out Dan 5:30 on Tuesday. Big up to the super chats tonight: William, DMB, Ian, and Jay, Mark Swifty, Terry, Levy Towers, London Nomad with a couple of super chats. A user also put in a couple of super chats, well, quite a few. Big up to you, Soul Boy. Thank you as well. Phil Coys and Sava, of course. Big up to you. Has his mate? How do you pronounce it? Savcap. Or is it?
Savio,
what's his real name?
Savio.
Big up to Savio.
Sorry.
Forza Napoli. Forza Napoli.
I did speak a fair bit. I'm seeing the chat saying I didn't talk. I did speak a fair bit. I don't know.
To be fair,
I might have a show on Wednesday, by the way, with TJ and Elijah most likely, for like 5ish probably, because
5 p.m.
at some point.
Oh, sorry, Haz. I didn't even ask you, did I? Sorry, man. Sorry, bro. Sorry. Is it Wednesday?
Probably Wednesday. Yeah, probably Wednesday, because that's the only day I can do. Because next Friday is my birthday, so I don't want to spend it talking about Tottenham, unfortunately. So.
Guys, go and follow Hasper. Subscribe to him. He's been one of the original Levy outers as well from day one. Don't forget that. Big up Linda as well. And that's it. All right, we're done. Guys, thanks as always, Ian, Maz, everyone else. Michael, big up for being on the show. 12:30 tomorrow on Big Up, and then 8:30 tomorrow night, myself, Iggy, JP, Lee, everyone will be back talking. Come and check us out. On that note, I'll leave it with this. Get this tosser out the club, leave you out, and that's it. Bye.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.